I usually just run one like solo cross strap on the binos, and then I'll just have them sitting right here, and if I can pull them up.
Use a rangefinder?
No,
Oh,
I've never used
why.
a rangefinder.
That's it.
That's what? What do you mean? That's why? What do you?
No,
okay.
that's not what I. The HUNTR Podcast is brought to you by Hoyt.
Should be no surprise to anyone listening to this that back with Hoyt another season. I'm actually going to be shooting the AX2 aluminum this year.
You traitor.
But you're still going RX9.
Yeah, blacked
carbon,
out as always.
Blacked out.
Yeah.
Big surprise for
80
everyone.
pounds. Big surprise. Yeah.
But seriously, man, I mean, it shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. Every year, it seems like we get a new Hoyt bow in our hands, and they're always a step above the last and just a step above everybody else.
Yeah, they're so consistent, man. Just their processes get better, every year. And we've really been excited about, as we've grown with Hoyt, we've brought some others in with us. And we just feel like the Hoyt family is growing, like the community, and we're really excited about the people that are involved, excited to be a part of that company. And it's really awesome.
So for anyone that's excited about Hoyt like Jared and I are, you can use the code HUNTR, HUNTR, on Hoyt.com.
Get serious, get Hoyt.
And we're back.
Ew.
HUNTR Podcast, episode 264, evening edition.
And right into it. Cody's here with us. I won't drag it out here. Cody DeQuisto.
And if you don't recognize him, yeah,
in
you
studio
should.
with us here tonight. Yeah, so I'll do my intro here real quick, and then we'll rock.
Yeah.
So hey, thank you guys for being here. Whether you're listening on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts, those are the three platforms that we drop these episodes on every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Eastern time. Soon to be Thursdays as well, starting in September.
Yeah.
Yep. Like, follow, subscribe any of those channels. They'll give you a notification as to when those drop. If you've written us on Instagram DM or the website, those are the two that we check the most frequently, especially with the Roadshow. This podcast will air after that, but if you have questions on that,
Yeah, we've been keeping
in
up with them.
hindsight, wind it
We had a
back
few from your post earlier.
regardless. Oh, did you respond to those?
I did.
I'm a man. We have some merch on the website. You guys can check that out. Also, a new website coming soon. You and I can touch base on that afterward. You can use promo code HUNTR on any of our partners' websites, including Cody's website, to get a discount. On the Lone Wolf site, it's code HUNTR, HUNTR, for 10% off your first order. So if you're a new customer of theirs, or you're wanting to stock up basically before the season here, that'll get you 10% off anything on the website. And other than that, here we go.
We're in it.
We're in it.
After a long...
Shall we cheers here?
Yeah, cheers.
Oh, let's cheers, man.
Yeah,
Let's
it's
do
good to
it.
be together, guys.
Hey.
All right.
After a long Iowa drive, huh?
Yes, I actually was out east a couple weeks ago, but yeah, I'm pumped to be here, man. We've been talking about this. I know it was like on the docket.
A couple weeks ago. It was like 3 days ago.
No.
Virginia?
Yeah,
Or Georgia?
Georgia.
I'm just thinking
That's
of like
southeast. It
I'm
doesn't
just
count.
thinking of back in June. Was like, okay, let's get something scheduled for June. We got to get an in studio, and
Isn't it crazy how quickly that's 2 months flew?
Oh my god,
Yeah.
dude, it's like I
But
can't.
it's like,
believe
how often are you actually passing through Pennsylvania, though?
Yeah, not very.
Not very.
often. A couple times a year, probably. But
Yeah.
it's also in like a little spot where it's easy to divert a little bit and get there. So, but
I think the first one we were talking about was in February at Great American.
oh yeah,
We're like, oh, is Cody coming through for Great American Outdoor Show? in
First
February?
what?
We're talking about getting him back on
yeah.
the pod.
This year?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
yeah, February. And then
Oh,
it
did
was-
we? We tried to get you out earlier? This is your first time this year, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've only been here once, and it was last.
That's right. Yeah. Okay.
He
now
did
I
a
remember.
remote.
Yeah,
Great
it was
Great
actually
American.
last year, right before I kicked off the circuit. So almost exactly
About
a year.
this time.
Wow.
Yeah. Probably a week prior, because I remember I left here and went right to Pennsylvania, maybe to do our.
You're in
first show.
Pennsylvania.
I think I went here.
I'm gonna redo that one. No, yeah, it was either Pennsylvania or Virginia or whatever, but I was out here. Yeah. It was good. It was a good one. It was a good one.
Yeah.
And then we did the one with you and your dad out in Iowa
That's right.
at the Iowa show.
Yep.
That's right.
At the Iowa
at the end of the
HUNTR
month.
show.
Pretty iconic. Got the old dad.
Yeah.
Lone Wolf himself on the.
Yeah. It's
I'll
cool,
tell you
man.
what, that's a highly watched podcast of
Is it?
ours. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the Wolf Den.
That was
Yeah.
fun, man. We were really getting to know you guys then. That was kind of when we kicked it off. You guys partnered with us. It was last year was the first year, right? And
Yep.
and that was our first road show too, and our only one so far actually. So yeah, this next one here this weekend will be
Escalated quickly from out in Cody's farm to your farm.
Yeah,
Dude,
it all kind of happened fast.
Well, it was really cool too, and I think it's meant to be because you guys came out. It was an awesome time. We got a bunch of recording done, and I think you reached out and you're like, man, I think I got a killer venue. And so Ohio in
I don't want to be that guy, but I think my spot's the spot.
Yeah.
You should come out.
Yeah.
And we've done.
Sounds right.
So we always have a PA event because it's just so prominent.
Yeah.
And we've bopped around. We've done it. We've been like Benton, and we did an event outside of Philly. But we also have a Virginia event or like a North Carolina event. So it's like those were always a little close.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'd throw in like a kicker Ohio, and it always did really well. But, the concept, or I was thinking immediately was like, okay, we got to do Western PA. So we could get some Michigan, so we get some Ohio, so we get some Indiana. Like, because people would drive out for them. And yeah, then we started talking, and you're like, well, what do you want? Do you want Pennsylvania or Ohio? I got two options on the border, and I'm just like, oh, well, dang, those are both awesome. So, but after seeing your parents' place, it just
the compound.
It looks amazing, man. And I've been pumped for it ever since. I think it's gonna be perfect, man. But I'm just jacked about the circuit. We kicked off one show already. It went awesome.
Georgia looked badass. All the guys were sending me texts and stuff they're like, just it seemed like really good atmosphere. Weather seemed good.
Yep, we coming off the tail end of a gnarly heat stroke. I think everywhere.
Yeah, everybody was getting toasted.
Oh yeah, and we got like cool weather rolled in. We had a sold out event, and we had more people even show up day of. We had an awesome venue down there, new place we haven't been to. We haven't done like a true southern location in a couple years. Like we did in Alabama a few years back, and we did one in Nashville. But this time, in Georgia, like, dude, they came out, man. The Southerners came out, and it was.
How far was that from Atlanta?
I think only it couldn't have been more than an hour.
Yeah,
like 45 minutes, maybe.
Yeah, so right outside.
Yeah, it was like north central Georgia.
So you probably got a lot of Tennessee, South Carolina, Alabama, Georgia people. Probably,
yep. Yeah. I mean, we had a lot of South Carolina. We had some Florida guys.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. It shocks me every time we do one how far people come. And
do you run around and do the poll like who's the furthest?
We do. Actually, we've done that on a couple shows, and we gave a little prize away to the person who came the furthest. But we don't do it on everyone. We should start doing that more. But we get a little, when we do our icebreaker and stuff, we kind of show of hands like who came from where and what. But it's cool, man.
I wonder what ours will be. I wonder what the turnout. I'm sure a lot of PA guys.
I know there's
a lot of Ohio, obviously.
Yeah, I know there's some New York.
Some New Yorkers coming down.
Yep. I want
probably some West Virginians.
Yeah, I want to say maybe some Kentuckians as well.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We're sitting
Michigan.
Where we're at. We're right down in the corner.
Oh, yeah.
My farm is like East Central Ohio, so we're half an hour across the PA line.
Yep.
Right. So we're
not far from Michigan. You're not far from New York. Like not far from West Virginia.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a killer location.
Good spot.
Like honestly, to pull serious hunters, like especially whitetail guys, you're in a good spot. And there was so many people. So I actually booked it up to HUNTR this year. I've never been, but I've been telling myself like every year for like the past 4 years, like I got to get up there, check it out. And I just never worked out. And it wasn't going to work out this year. And I was just like, shit, it's never going to work out. I just got to go. So I just left and went. And I talked to a bunch of cats up there that were like bummed. They were like, oh man, no PA event this year. And I'm like, well, we're just like right there. We just kind of slid it over. And they're like, and then they started looking up the address, and they're like, "Oh shit, that's actually closer than where Benton was for me."
Yeah.
And like it was like, wow. So I think they seen Ohio and immediately thought that PA was like abandoned. They were like, "Oh, no PA event, what the hell?"
I almost wonder if it would be like false advertising if you called it like the PA Ohio show.
Dude, I was gonna,
but it's probably not a bad idea.
But I did that one year with we were in Galapagos. Yeah, it's like south of here. No, it's Ohio, but
Ohio would be west.
It's literally on the river, West Virginia, Ohio.
And Gallia County.
Yeah, and I think it technically was like West Virginia, but we called it Ohio. Or we did like a split, and there was like, I don't know why there was so much backlash. I don't know why there was so much backlash, but I'm like,
that's the Confederacy down there.
Yeah,
come on.
You don't split that line. But anyway, man, it's good shit.
Well, it looked good. I mean, we had a lot of people writing us right away that were stoked to see that it was going to be out there, and they hear us talk about Jared's farm all the time. So, for quite a few of them, just even to be out there and get eyes on it, I think they're going to be pretty stoked about it. Plus all the event stuff that's going to happen.
Oh yeah,
so it should be fun.
And we've never done anything like this at my farm, or really, we haven't put on like a hunter event.
Yeah. Even when we go to trade
sort.
shows, like we just walk around.
Yeah, we don't have a booth. We just show up.
People are already so weirded out about it. They're like, you guys are just walking around the house? We're like, yeah. Like we're here to see the show.
Yeah, we're just hanging out. Yeah,
we're just hanging out. That's
merch is on the website if you want it. Like,
yeah, get it.
Get it.
It's definitely splitting the line, right? Because like, oh man, how do I put it? So it's a little weird, I guess, in a sense. Like even with me, like for so many years, like it's doing little. Like actually putting on the show.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, it's like the vibe of the hangout and the kick it that I think is the most appealing. And then how I like to do it is I like to structure it as much as possible is like panel style, right? So so nobody's singled out, but we're getting bits and pieces of everybody. And then like a certain scenario or a question, everybody attacks it from their angle and like how they run it, right?
Yep.
And prior to that, we got the intro of everybody says like, where they're from, how they hunt, what they're looking at. So they're going to know what Jared's tuning into and like they're going to gravitate toward him or gravitate toward you. Like, oh shit, you hunt the hills of Kentucky. Like, damn, I've been beating down the hills of Kentucky forever and I can't figure it out. So all these, whether it be a bedding area question, feeding question, we can like pivot and literally cater to the entire audience. So like, I love the panel parts. So that's a really cool section. You
know what I'm chuckling at over here? It's like you put us on a panel last year in Iowa. Yeah. At one point we were up there and we're like, everybody's answering questions. I look over and I'm like, I was like arguing with Andre DeQuisto at one point. And I'm like, what? I should probably have just shut up.
You lose.
Yeah, it's cool though because like there's always little cherries to pick out, and we got this segment too that I think will be really popular with a lot of the listeners that are coming to. That might have heard about Jared's farm or want to know shit you're into, Jeremy, with your pieces. But we'll do like a kill segment or like a breakdown to where we make Jake slave over a whiteboard and draw like the actual topo lines and like a piece. And then we'll go through like a successful hunt or like a story or whatever, and they can follow on the map. And then they can drill you on like, okay, well, why did you pick this ridge or why did you access through here? Like, and it just, man, people get so lit up and engaged with those things. Because on a podcast, you hear it. And I know there's a lot of people doing like whiteboard talk on social media now and stuff like that. But it's like you never get a chance to just open-endedly ask your questions and drill them of like, why this, why that. And, we usually split it between a bunch of different terrains and areas of the country. So it's cool, man. There's literally something for everybody. And, we get a blend of, and I know you guys were podcasting like the whole time, or a lot of the time.
Yeah, we did a couple.
Last event. So like, we try and split it up as best as we can for even new hunters, like guys that are just, or maybe they've been hunting permanent sets for a long time and they want to like start getting aggressive, and they don't really, okay, what gear do I run? How do I run it? How do I get efficient? So we'll do a lot of like intro to mobile hunting stuff. And
I think that's a big deal. It may have happened, and Jeremy and I were inside like shooting podcasts or something, but I'd love to see how other people are running like their rigs. I know people bring them and you see them setting out and stuff, but maybe I miss the here's how and here's why and let's go up a tree.
I know we walk through with like a couple guys when we see them, like, hey, what are you running here? How are you breaking that down and stuff?
That actually, it's funny you say that because from the get-go, that was one of my favorite parts of the event is we would have a breakdown, right? So all of our panel, our speakers get introduced. They're, like I said, they're all handpicked from different, I don't know if I mentioned that, but like they're handpicked from all over. Usually I start at where the event is being held and then explode from there. So if it's a Kentucky event, I'll have at least 2 to 3 killers that reside in Kentucky that like, that's their shit. And then I'll go like beyond that, maybe have a Pennsylvania guy and a South Carolina guy, right? And then, a couple Midwest guys, and then maybe like a Michigan, just a rant, right? So there is never somebody at a show. My goal when I put it on was that there'd never be somebody at a show that didn't have somebody they could directly relate to. And then in between all those guys too, a layer deeper, I make sure to split it up between how like the gear they use.
Right.
Couple saddle guys, couple hang on guys, couple climber guys, maybe even a guy who kills them on the ground a lot, So if it gets into that, right? So that introduction gets done. Everybody gets familiar with these guys and who they are, where they hunt, and they're like, okay, yeah, I think like that's how I want to hunt. That's how I hunt. And then they got their rig, right? So we used to go through, and we do it to an extent now, but we used to go through and actually deep dive into like what each guy was using. And even beyond that, like I would ask them their favorite like personal mod they did themselves to their setup. And like, dude, you see the coolest shit. Oh, well, I put this gear tie right here with a piece of electrical tape, so like this, and when I'm doing this or whatever, and it's really cool. But
especially as a creator, like as you guys are innovating for new products, you're like, got to keep that one,
100%,
write that one down,
100%. That's so I'm always listening, man, because especially these guys are guys that I've met throughout the years that either I 100% believe either they're killers and they got the track record for it, or they just connected the dots and they're like freaking they're gonna take off. And I can see that, man. And when I talk to these guys, I know whether they're there or not. And a lot of these guys come to a show, get that information they need, and then inside of 3 years they're just
they're slaying them.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
And even from finding properties, but from the actual breakdown, then we'll go to the trees, and then you'll see how those dudes run their setup in the tree.
Yeah.
Or, even like we'll have some addictions guys and they'll do a special segment on like, hey, you looking to self-film your hunts? Like, this is how you set up the arm. This is essentially just trying to help these guys avoid gnarly pitfalls and disaster mistakes that we've all been through. I mean, you got to experience them, but shit, it's like,
well, it's like there's not really, I mean, I'm sure there is, but I was going to say there's not really a wrong way to do it. It's like, as long as you're being safe with the equipment, it's like, hey, the sticks go on the tree, the strap goes around the tree, you cinch it in. That's how you run them. But beyond that, I think it becomes how can you be more efficient, like from a timing standpoint, and also obviously quiet and packability too. It's like how do you maximize this equipment to pack it in with everything else that you're carrying in also, and how do you be quiet doing it, and how do you get in and out fast into the where you need to be in the tree.
Well, I mean, dude, my aha moment was seeing people using the J hooks, because I'd always strapped. Everybody did.
You know who that was? It was Jacob. Just had one, and we're like, "What's that?"
Yeah, he's like, "You guys you don't have the J hooks?" And we're like, "No." I was like, "What does it do?" And he just like slides it in and tightens it. And he's like, "Yeah, look, it's stuck." I'm like, "What?"
Yeah.
We're like, "Of course it does." That's exactly.
It was mind blowing,
dude. I wanted to do. Years ago, I wanted to do an ad. I just like a dude in the back of a pickup truck bed, just ripping.
Yeah.
And you just take that freaking setup and just chuck it out the pickup bed and just watch it stay so freaking intact and not it. Yeah. And like, boom, it's locked in. Or don't worry about your sticks coming off, something like that. But
I mean, there's everybody who's mobile hunted over the past 10 years has put sticks on a stand, and they're going in, and one of them gets loose, and then you start getting metal on metal, ding 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 ding, and you're like, fuck.
I do think, and you guys, I'm sure know this. It's just like the next evolution of that is like if there was a way that was a fixed piece to either. This isn't even I haven't even thought about this until literally now that we're talking about it. Either if it was on the platform or it was on the, so it's like, hey, there's not that third J hook to lose, something to lose, Yeah,
that's my only qualm with the J hook. And we've got some stuff in the works. We've had some stuff prototyped. That was definitely a very simple, like, here's a really simple solution to the problem. But yes, now the trick is advancing that.
Yeah. Can I give you another one? Yeah. You like this one?
I'm all ears.
This is you've probably seen a million people do this. And we can edit it out if it's like proprietary or whatever, the only beef that we had with that, so it's a 0.5. The smaller, I like the small setup, but wearing like lacrosse boots, rubber boots and stuff too, the small platform brings your cables in, squeaks, you know.
Yep.
And somebody was like, hey, put hockey tape, obviously, fix everything. So we taped the cables, and it was like an overnight fix. I was like, that problem's completely gone for me now.
Yeah.
So if you could put something stock on those out of it, you know what I mean? I'd be like,
like out of the gate, like in production.
Unless there's some
make AJ tape every one.
Yeah, well, and honestly, that's something that even like me, I've taped my cables since the beginning. Like I never thought about it, but oh yeah, for sure, 100%. Cables, and I've been accused of being a little crazy with tape, and usually it's hockey tape. I don't know, I like tape. I taped the whole interior dash of a '94 Jeep one time, like the entire dash.
Wow.
I just taped it. Huh. I was like, "Fuck, it just looks good, man. It looks clean." It was like fabric tape, and it just looked like So
dude. I mean, there's something about hockey tape. Like I remember sitting there and just like every point of contact, I'm like, hockey tape here.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? It's amazing how it just molds to whatever you put it on.
Oh,
you're like, it's never going to make that bend. And, it does.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
The durability, the lasting factor is huge.
It does make a big difference. You know what I mean? It's like, hard surfaces make noise regardless of what it is, metal on metal. And so I was, yeah. I don't know. Initially, I was like, I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it or it's like,
dude, when it's dead quiet in like the morning and it's dark and you're
really
trying to like
make
Oh yeah.
One little ding and it's like you felt like it just echoed through the whole damn valley.
100%. And the thing, I think the reason why we've never leaped off the diving board with anything further as like a stock silencing aid is just that.
I'm sure the expense would be.
Well, so yeah, it would definitely be more expensive, and you'd have some throwback about that. But really, so it's the longevity, and then it's. Yeah. If it wears, so for instance, like our original launch debut of the 1.0 had a silent touch like membrane coating.
I remember that.
It was literally soft touch. It dampened. I mean, it was still metal, but it was a layer that was sprayed on it that actually
just dampened the sound.
It took the rattle out of the metal. It wasn't metal. When you felt it, you were like, it felt like a phone case. You're like, what?
Oh, cool.
And yeah, it was awesome. But, dude, these things get beat down for 3-4 years. Then you got a stand that's like, you end up having to tape already. And then we had issues where, like, then it didn't look as great. So it's like, we kind of backpedaled from that just off of, like, the wear and tear. Mm-hmm. And then you got, like, obviously production, the added cost in it. And then the... adding things like weight, you're taking your base stand weight and, it's getting more. And so many guys, like we're in a world of customization now.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody wants to trick their own stuff out. Right. Like, so I think a guy would do better offering 6 different colors of tape. And like literally, like, hey, dude,
let them do it.
Man, you like blue? Like, here, grab some blue.
Lone Wolf tape.
Yeah, Lone Wolf tape. Here, grab some blue. Boom.
Yeah.
Little brand on there.
Yeah, everybody's gonna want to tape theirs. I guarantee that his looks different than mine.
Dude, Paracord.
From a tape stand.
People go nuts with Paracord.
Yeah,
what's the deal with that? Why Paracord? Why not tape?
Do
you have cord on your stand?
I've messed with it a little bit.
You just think it looks cooler? Or
what? No, actually. So I think that's why people do it, because it does look badass. But
obviously,
but like, dude, the weight of all that paracord too. More times than not, it's the guy that is obsessing about weight that puts 7 pounds of paracord on their stand, which is odd. But there's certain things like paracord on the rim of the stand can give you extra feel, like when you're at the edge, like it gives you a lip. Like there's definitely different things that paracord can offer. Like, so for instance, like I have paracord on like more so like the ears, like right where the ear comes down and notches. I have paracord right where it turns because I run my belt around the ears and it won't slide down then. And that paracord gives me a bump there, which, now we're actually putting a groove into the cut there.
So it doesn't,
So a lot of these things, man, they start out with a little mod and then they all of a sudden make their way into the stand. And
I run on all of my steps. I run a paracord loop because my little Lone Wolf pack, I've got little hooks built into it. So when I'm climbing up, I put one step just on a loop on each one. So I'm hanging, and then I can just grab the next one, and I can just grab the
that's what I'm talking about. That's the gold that you see at the Roadshow, and then people are like, oh, man, and then they go home and they do it to theirs, or they, buy a similar setup at the show, and it's just, it really helps them dial their shit in. And on a gear perspective, and then we get into like hunting. So like not only are you learning gear,
right.
you're getting all the, essentially a place where you can, beat your head against the wall with everything you've struggled.
Well, dude, there's such an art to hanging tree stands. Like it's. Well, go ahead.
Well, I don't want to cut you off, but I was going to go there next. So keep going.
I was just, I remember watching my uncle like hang tree stand. Like we never had harnesses, and they were big bulky pieces of crap at that time. I mean, the original Lone Wolves might have been out at that time, but my uncle didn't have them.
Dude, those old ones that you used to pull out of like whatever it was. Trying to think what those old comfort zone.
Dude,
was it comfort zone?
23-pound stands probably.
Yeah. Dude, you would pull that harness out and it was like it was a Rubik's cube. You're like,
I mean, I'd
put it on and I'd have like just be tied up. I'm like, forget it.
Yeah,
done.
Gorilla was the one that was the first tree stand I ever hunted out of. That was actually smaller. That was like, in hindsight, that was a decent. But then they, those turned into Walmart and they made 50 different variations. But whatever. I remember my uncle, and he would always say, and he would try to teach you like he's like, the skylight. You see how you look up and you see there's this, and see how you would be seen more readily in that. And so, and he's like, so cover's a big deal, and we talk about all the ways it could be situated, and then eventually you pick up on like, well, I'm a right-handed shooter, and so if I don't want to stay, I could do this, and then so eventually you get to a point where like you're walking through the woods, just like you observe it. You know, if you're looking for, you're looking for a stand tree, it's like that's how you can see how it would set up, and so you know where you're going to sit before you're even there. That's what I mean, dude. Jeremy and I hung 4 of those alphas last week on our farm in Illinois, and we stood at the bottom for. I mean, it used to maybe take a little while. Now it's just like we look at it, we're like
that's
this, like that. Would get up, I'd look down, I'm like, you like it, and he's like, yeah.
It's like usually one tree. I think we had one tree that it was like. It was between 2, and we're like, okay, give up this, gain this, give up this, gain this, But other than that, it's like you know now.
We got a good system too, where I hang the stands, Jeremy supports, we hand up, it's nice.
See, that's something that is missed, I think, and when you have those experiences and you learn like that, and you can do that. It's very easy to overlook how common sense that is. And I don't even mean to say common sense because some people don't.
Well, it is to us, but if you don't know it, you don't know it.
It's second nature.
You don't know what you don't know. Exactly. So, like, what I find helps most people is I'll definitely get into the tree stand stuff like that. And I avoided a lot of the stuff that I looked past for years. I'm like, oh, well, like, yeah, no, surely everybody knows to climb up the side of the tree that's not leaning backwards. And but dude, it's
not
like,
everybody.
Dude, I did a segment the other year, and I talked about
if you can help it.
Well, yeah, and I talked about like exactly. I don't know what I called it, but I was like, scouting the tree or whatever, or whatever. You're standing there. You found your spot. You're narrowing down your trees. You've narrowed down the tree. Well, dude, there's more than just tossing the stand in there, dude. You got to think of like, okay, where's my shot angle going to be? Like, am I going to be sitting down? Like, or at least I do. I go very, very deep with it. And I attribute a lot of my success in the fact that I'm so calculated in how the stand is positioned on the tree. And I know exactly how I'm going to shoot them and where I'm going to shoot them. And that's just from thinking it through. And it's amazing how many people that I talk to, like, they didn't get there yet. They're like, oh yeah, well, damn, okay. Or like, there so many stories you hear of like a dude sitting there and the buck comes behind him and then he's got to stand up and turn around and he gets busted. And yeah, that can happen in the rut a lot more than I think probably like other times a year. But I think it's more so that enough thought wasn't put into
I didn't think it through.
Yeah, how the tree stand was actually hanging and how they shoot and where they hang their bow. Or like they get up there and hang their bow off to the right side behind them when they could hang it to the left side and their shot is to the left.
That's one of the hardest decisions. Once you get your stand hung is where am I going to put the bow?
Well, it's like,
especially if you've got a shot like in a crooks versus your primary shot. It's tough, man. It's big decisions.
Those are all calculated things that are running through like dialed people's heads and like, when you open those things up to people sometimes, like you can see the light bulb hit, like, oh, damn. I never thought of that. And then also just like the proper mechanics of it and stuff like that. And
it's just, it's shortcut tips and techniques because of things that we've all done and failed and blown up and then try to figure out.
Yep. And there's a lot of people that get caught in a slump from doing something that they were taught how to do before.
Right.
And they might have had success with it once or two. Like those are the hardest people to break because
they're like, it worked.
Well, that's gospel then.
Yeah.
Like because
what is the word for that? What is the word for not understanding? I mean,
naive?
No. Lovingly, I would say my dad is this way. I mean, with deer hunting, he says that, and you'll meet him. He's awesome. He's awesome. He's just, he'll be like, well, I had success that one time, that one way. Most people's dads probably are that way, you know? Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, but you understand that's not why. Like, it happened despite that, not because of that. Yeah. And he's like, well, and then it never happens again. I'm like, you need to understand, learn to, assess things and why they happened and things that just happened as well.
Yep.
The HUNTR Podcast is brought to you by Predator Camo.
Man, this one feels good, right? I know people have been looking at this picture over your shoulder for a while now. I think that was 2018, but We just, over the last, how many years, keep coming back to Predator Camo because it's been so damn good for us.
No doubt. I think we bought our first set off of Jen at the Archer Trade Show almost 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And Jen's still with the company, and the patterns have only improved since then. They actually were recently acquired within the past couple of years. We've had a chance this past year to go and meet with new ownership, talk about redesigning a lot of the old lines, plans for new patterns, all of the above. So really excited about what's to come, not only this coming year, but in years to come. There's a lot of good stuff coming from Predator.
Yeah, and I mean, for us, it's always been going back to that breakup pattern, right? That's the historic look, whether you're talking about the spring greens or brown deceptions or fall grays. Yeah. I mean, that breakup is really what's been so powerful for us in a tree stand. And right now, they're letting anyone use the code HUNTR on the Predator Camo website and get 20% off any of the lines, including all the new stuff that dropped here in July.
Be the Predator.
We've never talked about this on here, I don't think, but I'm, over the years, man, a huge proponent of hunting low, like oddly low, stupid low, like very up close and personal. And, man, if I had $1 for every time, especially on the East Coast, that people said you couldn't kill deer low, or just anywhere. It's everywhere. You get it in the Midwest, too.
What is the reason? Why have you...
Why is the reason?
Yeah, why do you like that?
I started hunting low. Honestly, I've done a lot of things I've done just because people said you couldn't do it. And I just wanted to, find out for myself. And more so, a chip on my shoulder, wanted to prove them wrong.
Okay.
So,
Except for my last point, are you killing them because you're low or despite the fact that you're low?
No, here's the thing. So, I became obsessed, too, with, the rush and, it's I've been constantly, just like we talked about working out. In my mind, if I'm doing the same thing, I gotta be adding weight to the vest.
Okay.
There's no other way. I don't know if it's the way I'm wearing. Maybe I'll get away from that one day. But
you're pushing the bar.
When getting low was that point of it was like a goal that popped up in my head. It's I want to kill one at 5 feet. I want to be able to touch them and I want to put an arrow through them. That would be the ultimate hunter. Because I had buddies that were practicing shooting at 60, 70 yards, and I'm just I was never a good shot, but I never cared. I was like, and then I'd see deer at 60, and they wouldn't even raise my blood pressure. They're so far away to me at that, and I was just no, I want to touch them. I want to, and then I would still hunt high, but I would hunt real close to trails. The shot angle was shit, and I've killed deer like that. And then I think it was I was looking to be the ultimate machine too and be efficient. So I was shit, if I could minimize half my gear, if I could get stealthy as fuck and be low, I could get in the tree in half the time, I could get out of the tree in half the time. And if I could increase the rush and make this more of a challenge and see if and then, and even then I started killing them low, and I'm I'm going to do it without camo. I don't want no camo. And then I started wearing bright colored fucking clothing because it truly is, it's movement that they see. Right. It is nothing else. It's the movement, how they pick you up, or it can skylight you, but that's movement. Mm-hmm. That's the slightest shift in your body. Yeah, it creates more light behind you, and it's. So I don't know. I ran with it, and it amps me up a little bit when people are so against it. And there's been this there's been this gospel in the hunting community about 20 feet and needing to be high and you need to be up there. And the only thing I can think is that over the years, obviously you have an advantage hunting in an elevated position. I do believe that. There's guys who kill them on the ground, but I believe you do have an advantage hunting in an elevated position. There's no arguing that.
Agree.
So people started hunting high, and it was just they were trying to get as far away from the deer to escape whatever they could, right? And which makes sense. In some situations, getting high helps you 100%, right? It helps you with thermals, or it helps you whatever. There's other disadvantages, but I think it was just set in stone that you had to be high to get away. You're trying to increase the distance from you and the deer. And
you think that still exists? Do you hear that a lot, at the roadshows?
Getting high?
Yeah.
Well, dude, I've made it my personal mission to educate people for the last 7 years on so. But yes, I still do get it, and there's still people that argue against it, and that's one of my favorite segments. Is if people, I'll gauge the audience, and if people are willing to listen, I'll go for 2 fucking hours on all the benefits of hunting low in my theory, and I'm going to get into that in a nutshell right now. But the biggest thing is and I do think also companies who started selling tree stands, they want to sell you 4 sticks. They want to get a higher ladder stand. Like they want, and people always thought that was weird. It's like, wait.
Well, who's going to buy it?
Wait, well, how many, I only need 2 sticks? Yeah, you only need 2. Well, don't, I don't care how many sticks you buy. I'm telling you how to be efficient and kill deer. I don't care about the sticks. It's just like the camera. It's like, well, you don't use cameras? Don't you sell cameras? I'm like, well, yeah. If you want to buy one, you can buy one, but I don't use them. And I would suggest you don't use them. But it's just whatever. I don't care. Right. Well,
what do you think is the right answer to that question in terms of
what
height?
Question?
Height.
Okay, so here I'm gonna get to that. Okay. Right. So I think over the years it's become gospel, right? And because there is advantages, and I think people had some success, and it just breeded more high hunting and get away and get high up, get out of sight. Because their eyes are cagey, out of the scent, because their noses are it's all common sense.
Right.
It makes sense, right? Well, I also believe that there's disadvantages with that. The higher you get, the more likely you are to get silhouetted, for one, which is a huge problem that people don't think about. Yep. Shot angle sucks, and actually, in certain situations, most situations, you're actually laying more of a scent cone
because you're up higher. And it's just.
I mean, dude, if you're sitting on the ground and your scent is bottling up, or you're 6 feet off and it's coning down at 6 feet, well, you go to 35, dude.
You think so?
Oh, I know so.
More of a scent cone?
I know so.
Just has more time to spread out before it hits the ground.
Yeah, and you don't know. And here's the thing: is we don't know, or we can speculate.
Wait, let me break that down real quick.
Yeah,
not more scent necessarily. You're just saying how it's dispersed.
Yes, correct. 100%.
So on the ground, you're saying it would.
If I can be 6 feet off the ground.
It's not going to be spreading out in an open area. It'd be in the ground, and it's going to flow in a certain direction.
And it will spread. That's what scent's going to do, and the thermals are going to take it where it takes. And I don't know the hard facts on how long it takes the scent to disperse, but I know this.
It's a fact. There's just many variables.
But I know this. If you're in a tree right here, and you're hunting a buck that's coming in, and this goes on setup, and just hedging your bets and your odds. If your scent cone is going down, or let's say you got a wind from the back, if your scent is blowing down from 6 feet, hitting the ground, getting on the foliage, dispersing, whatever it's going to be doing, whether it's pulling in the evening, right, to wherever, and you're 36 feet up there, it's just going to fall and slowly, just literally, it's going to start to.
Yeah, just cover everywhere.
It's going to affect this great of an area versus this tiny area. Now,
would the same be true in the opposite situation where your thermals are rising?
No,
so if you're lower, you're going to be at a disadvantage?
That's where it doesn't, because your thermals are rising. So that's the catch, right? So the one advantage of being high is in the thermal lift situation to get it out of there and to get above the lay of land. But even when you're 6 feet high, if you got a good thermal lift, it's still going up.
Yeah.
So it's
that's fair.
So that's a big advantage. And
you think it's a big advantage? You use that a lot?
I do.
Really?
I think so many people are getting busted. Here's the problem: you're getting busted. And
also,
you're
talking about 6 foot versus 20 foot. In between, there's some sweet spots too.
Well,
right?
I'm going to get to that. I'm going to get to the sweet spot, or my opinion. Okay. So I think that. See, my theory is this too. I have this theory that it doesn't take long for a generation of, or it doesn't take long for deer.
Theories are coming out.
Oh yeah, no, this, and I'm behind this, right? So this is all going to my hunting low. So, if you think of how quick a herd of deer can adapt to a situation and adjust to a situation, just think about how long they've been ambushed by very high heights, and how long they've been ambushed at ground level by coyotes and by predators that are on the ground. There is no natural predator that sits at 7-8 feet, 6 feet. It's just not. Maybe a mountain lion in those scenarios, but I think deer have grown more accustomed to looking high, and using the backdrop and using that change in light
silhouette,
and they're more accustomed to looking
or down
low
on the ground.
So you end up in this sweet spot, right? And this sweet spot, I think, is from 7 to 10 feet tops. If you're under there with your head. Another thing about this spot is if you take that height in virtually any lay of land, despite a couple crazy scenarios, you have so much natural cover behind you. And and when I say cover, I talk about hunting cover a lot, and everybody thinks oh yeah, you get in the branches. And I said, yeah, branches are awesome, but I kill them in bare open trees at 7 feet up because I got so much depth cover.
Back cover, yeah.
Now, and this is another thing. So I look, when I'm setting up a stand, I always stand in the area where I think I'm going to shoot the deer. And I analyze where that tree is and what's behind it and how high I need to be in that tree. And I'll get as low as I humanly possibly can get to get my advantage of wind, back cover. So it's really important to have a dense backdrop. And even in very open timber scenarios, 7-8 feet up, you're getting ground, or you're getting bushes, or you're getting
mid-story, whatever.
Yeah, so I never like to get above that. And so I got that natural cover that's behind me. And then to cap that all off, that's my kind of theory about as far as like identifying danger. A lot of times, man, I can show you videos of deer that come in, and they like if you got a good wind and it's point blank, and it's a little rowdy, and I'll get into that next. But like, I've been seen so many times, but not seen. They're like, like they don't, and they're almost like, what the like it's like they
don't trust their eyes. If they don't smell you too, they're not sure.
Well, you can see it in their face. They're just like, is that something right there at 7 feet? Boom. Then they get shot. Like it's
always like two senses to fact check it, whether they hear you and see you, or smell you and see you, or smell you and hear you. Like
they don't trust their eyes. I mean, it might be 25% of their nose.
And they will, and that's the thing. I think it works I think deer are different, and it works in there's bucks that like I think prefer a visual advantage, like based off the situation.
Absolutely.
But I do think they're constantly analyzing all the fucking data.
And
that's what I try and get people to do hunting. It's like, dude, you got to be analyzing all the data, not just 2 years ago in the fucking
I would
hot
agree
rut
with what
funnel.
you said there too, like, especially like from a bedding standpoint. They prefer a visual perspective.
Yeah, they want to see.
I agree. I talk about like immediate danger. It's just like if they immediately smell something, or they won't trust their eyes as much as until they confirm them both. If they also smell you, then they're out.
Well, and you'll have deer bedded in like 3-year cutovers, or like a thicket that like there is absolutely they're tucked in there like a rat.
Right.
Yeah. As soon as you crest that cut, they're gone. They got that whiff of you. That's like a scent. That's a scent detected bedding area, right? And they like that's their game. And you also got deer that perch up on the top of that ridge, and as soon as you crest that bottom, they're like, bam, they're gone. Like, or they watch you. They're watchers too, man.
So here's a question: like, obviously, you have different areas that these deer will bed in. Do you think that the same deer is using that same strategy every time? Or like, so for instance, here would be one scenario on my farm that we're going to be at tomorrow. There's a west facing bowl. Okay. So it's a bowl. Just goes like this. There's two kind of ridges that come up like this, the two high points, and then there's a little saddle just like this. And the wind and west comes right into it. So any kind of west wind is catching those edges and swirling. It's just a bowl in there. And they know that they're completely safe. Some of the biggest deer on our farm have just been in there. It's an unhuntable spot.
Oh yeah.
You can hunt the point. I can hunt the points.
Yeah.
Another one would be on the backside of it. There would be a leeward facing knob, which is a more traditional. Okay, go ahead.
Back to the bowl though.
Yep.
Is the question about, you said
so that's one. They'll bed right in the bottom of it, and the wind will swirl.
Yep.
I'm just talking about like a thermal hut, basically.
Yes.
You know what I mean? The wind will swirl. You see, we find those big guys right in the bottom.
I hate bowl type coliseums. Like it's a tough nut to crack.
So another one would be a deer's bedding on just a leeward knob, upper third of a eastern facing ridge. They're more visual. The wind and thermals are coming up over the back still, but it's a different bedding situation. It's do you think that a same buck will use both of those and he's just as comfortable with both, or do you think he prefers one or the other?
Both. I think the answer is both for sure. It's yes and no. Like, because you'll have, and that's the thing, dude, that's the thing that's so crazy is like, I try and stay as open as I possibly can with this shit. And I think that's another reason where people fail is they're like shut offs and sometimes, and then they get stuck in their ways. But like, if you are constantly, like if you get the years, you talk to the old heads and like whatever, if you're constantly analyzing buck behavior, whether it's where they bed, how they act, whether they're sight bedded versus scent bedded, or all this stuff, dude, it changes so much, man. And like I've caught up with bucks on different bedding ridges. Like some bucks are nomadic in certain areas. Some bucks, are going to change their bedding spot based off of that wind. Some don't, based off of conditions like that thermal pocket. Like some might hang out there in any wind,
right? Because
they know they're going to get it, but they might have like a late morning bedding that they switch to. So I've just seen it happen so many different ways and times with with the same deer. It's the same thing about like if you find this freaking honey hole bedding area, right, on this peninsula, right, or in this and it's like, oh man, it's just shredded up. So many people think that like, oh, this is a big buck bedding area and it'll always have a big buck bedded there. There's spots that, yes, a new one comes up and takes that spot over, and then there's spots like that completely die. And 5-6 years goes by, and you're fucking hunting that spot every year because you're thinking it's got all the things for a big buck to want, and you never see them. And that big buck that you're after is fucking bedded 15 yards behind the house, just watching you come in. Like, you know, dude.
Well, add that third to the list. I mean, dude, that's freaking. That's a key one.
Oh, dude, it's so key, man. Dude, they bet. I've seen more giants bedded off of roadsides in thickets, just staying still, watching, man, just watching everything.
Dude, we've talked, I mean, many times about some of the best setups on our Illinois farm might be right by the house, and we're just going to wear the farmer's jacket out. We're going to impersonate the 98-year-old man that lives there as close as we can, you know, because they're not afraid of them. So
and dude, a lot of people make it harder than they have to too. Like everybody's trekking, everybody's trekking 6 miles deep. Yeah. And there's a trail that goes there, and it's beat with footprints. Yeah. But you got to get 6 miles deep, right?
Dude, you know it helps me to think about, like, you know how you see like park deer or deer that are like in an urban area, like those are the same deer, like those are the same species, and you see them out like they're comfortable with their environment. Yeah. So not that they're going to necessarily do that in a wild, like in a Midwestern like type of a setting, but it is the same animal. And so if you can just understand what they're afraid of, what they're not afraid of, and what they're willing to tolerate.
So that's where I have like mixed things too, because that's where I would call it conditioned.
Yeah, sure.
They can be conditioned just like anybody. You, me, any like in a deer that grows up that doesn't associate human pressure with danger is going to be a deer conditioned to be, you know, so
this one's not afraid of tractors. This one's not afraid of the landowner that does this.
Man. And people overthink it too. And it's like some of these heavily pressured public areas, like a lot of people like to correlate pressure with hard to kill too. And that is just not true. 100%. Because if it was true, that would mean every buck up in the mountains that never sees a human would be super easy for a human to walk up on and kill it.
And they're not.
That is it's so far from the truth that it's just that I think people say those things to justify their tough time.
Sure.
And it's not the deer that are harder to kill, it's the people that are hard to hunt around.
That's right.
It's them that are fucking you up.
That's right.
It's not the deer. The deer are used to that. And they're still inhabiting the area. Yep. And if they're still inhabiting the area, they feel safe.
Yep.
But if there is somebody there mucking it up in real time, that is going to affect
it's going to screw you totally.
Yeah.
But it's the person, not the deer.
Yeah.
These deer are hard to hunt because they're so pressured. They're so cagey. They're no cagier than any other deer.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, they got people out there after them, but like, so does, you know, I don't know. But, you know, so that's another aspect of it. And then being conditioned, like, I don't think it takes very long for that to happen. And you know, it's like feeders, like it's a gray area. Like, dude, okay, you got a feeder, dude, you know, the first year you put that feeder out, dude, them deer are gonna be like, they're gonna be like, what, like they're gonna be scared to hell.
We just bought some. We just bought a couple big feeders.
And 5 years down the road though, they're gonna start to
they've been conditioned to it.
They're gonna understand that it's a feeder.
Yeah.
And they're gonna understand that it's like where they get food, and the fawns are gonna grow up eating from there, and then those fawns are going to be the old does, and like it's just like the tree stand height. It's like, you know, I think it's like, you know, the little ones are learning and they're looking up, and the biggest thing I always heard out east or anywhere, matter of fact, is like, you can't, you know, these deer out here are so sharp and so cagey that they're conditioned to look up, so you got to get high as hell. And I'm like, well, if they're conditioned to look up, why in the world would you get high?
Right.
Like what, like, you know, just think about it. So, and I think there's so many more strategical advantages with efficiency, with scent, with wind. And there is, I'm going to replay that because people are going to call that. And there is tons of times where being high can help you in your wind, for sure. But I think it's a case-by-case basis. And I've just like, I looked at it like I heard a photographer analogy one time that like, okay, there's the photographer that has a box of lenses and is a really good photographer. And then there's a great photographer that can do it all with one lens. And it's like, okay, that made me think about, because I was always like, this was so long ago, but I was like paranoid to leave the two sticks behind and only go, what if I need the other two sticks?
Yeah, what if you need them?
What if I need them? What if I need to get high in this situation? And I was just like, well, if you're a good enough hunter, you can get it. You don't need them. You can get it done. You can figure out a way around it, and it creates more of a game too. And if I need to get higher right here, if I need to add two sticks, you crack me up, man.
Because there is an end to that, you know. Because you're a good enough hunter. What do you need a tree stand for?
Well,
what do you need a bow for?
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean?
You can, and I say this.
Just go grab one.
I say all this. I say this all the time, dude. Like at the road shows.
I see your point, though. I
say it all the time. I'm like, dude, a killer's gonna kill.
Yeah.
And you could go out there with a fucking 10-gallon bucket and a snare. What, like, if you are cagey enough, you will get a deer. But I do believe there's things that advance you and there's things that hold you back. Like, and I believe in the bare minimum to get the most advantage for the less trade-off. And that's lightweight, optimal, low setups that I can get down and up quick. It's like the element of surprise, staying still. And like still is a crazy thing. Yeah. And this is the biggest thing. Like, so here's, I'll go through, like, I'm telling you, I probably got 20 roadshow stories deep this exact conversation. You know, Cody, like I've been listening to you talk about hunting low for a few years, and I just don't know, man. I don't know if it'll work by me, like, you know, and it, like, they've become now receptive to it. And I'm like, okay, you know, I get that. And they're like, because they start off by saying, no, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And I say, and then I ask them, I said, okay, have you tried it? And they're like, well, yeah, I was like, well, have you actually gave it a try? And they tell me one time that they hung low and got busted. And I'm like, okay, how many times have you got busted 25 feet up in a tree? Like the last 27 years you've been hunting? I was like, and you got busted one time being low, and you're going to take those odds of being gospel that you. So I tell them, I said, hey, do me a favor. Give it an actual try. Hunt low. And so my favorite story is a guy, dude, he's 330, 5'8", beast of a man, right? Just big boy. And I'm not talking about a bodybuilder. You know, he's a
big boy.
He's a fat boy. And good buddy of mine now, like met him a long time ago. He doesn't like heights because he's so big.
Yeah.
But he's like, I can't hunt low. I'm a fucking giant. And he knows that. Dude, I got that fucker hunting at 5 feet with a 0.5. And he is seeing more. He is in more deer
with a 0.5.
With a 0.5. He squeezes on it because
he's 580.
What's the weight limit on
it? It ain't about comfort, dude. He's about getting it done. I was like, dude, if you can, I tell him, I said, dude, it don't matter how big you are. I know it's gonna, but if you can stay still, if you can get there and you can get comfortable enough to stay still, you're gonna be able to do it. And he just didn't believe it. And I'm like, you got to try.
You're like, you hand him a copy of Kung Fu Panda, the movie.
Yeah.
You're like, dude.
Well, it's so.
Watch us.
It seems simple, but all these guys, I'm like, hey, just do me a favor and give it a try.
Yeah.
Did you guys? So Kevin Merrill, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna drop Kevin Merrill's name. I remember he was one of these very guys that is a PA native guy. He's hunting with a trad bow. He just was a little skeptical about hunting low, or more than a little skeptical. It was. I definitely heard it come out of his mouth that you can't do that in Pennsylvania. And I just, over the course of a couple years, just kind of just nudging him in that direction, dude. One morning I got a call. He smokes like his biggest buck at like 8 feet up in a tree on a field. And he's like, dude, I never thought it was possible. And I'm like, dude, and it, like, if you get a couple guys to do that, then it snowballs. But the thing is like, you got to give yourself to it and you got to commit and try it. Take 2 sticks out there for a couple weeks and hunt low every time. And start thinking and analyzing, and then if it don't work out for you, don't work out for you. But then with that in mind, like, keep in mind that movement is everything. Yeah. And when you're that close and low, you got to be still. And every year, I have at least 3 people come up to me that say they started hunting low and they killed the biggest buck they've ever killed.
So can I propose a potential disadvantage, like just a hey,
for sure,
rebut this? I would see. You know, if you're lower, you're not going to be able to see as well, more than likely, right? You're not going to have a vantage point.
Well, actually, that's my one, and that's where,
in terms of distance, right?
Well,
makes sense.
Well,
right?
Actually, so that's my one point that I love to make about the advantage of hunting from an elevated position and why. Well, why don't you just hunt on the ground then? Why don't you just ditch the tree stand? Because you cannot beat that visual advantage,
right?
As humans, right. And like as we're
being elevated,
exactly. And I believe, like, my game at least is very visual orientated.
Oh yeah,
I can't sit under a bush and collect the intel that I collect. So
let me pose it to you like in a scenario.
So
I can.
Yeah, but let me just end it with this real quick because I do believe that's super important, and that's why I only get as high as I need to observe the area I'm hunting.
So we can see, yeah.
Just so I can see. Because if I'm below that, I need to get a little higher.
Yeah.
But if I'm too high, I'm not trying to get greedy though and see 3 ridges over. I don't do that much.
Right.
Now an observation sit could be a little different.
Sure.
You put yourself on a ridge point. But
well,
yeah,
and I'm thinking about rut hunts predominantly, and I don't know that there's a true statistic, but I know that a large number of successful bow hunts have happened from guys seeing bucks a ways off and calling at them.
100%.
And if I'm low and I don't have that vantage point, I can't see them, that interaction never happens.
Yep. Dude, and that's 100%. Like, I agree with you 100%. I think, though, I would pose the question. I would take any scenario of somebody being 20 feet in a tree and having a really good visual, and I would say there's probably a spot you could get to have the same visual and not be as high. Like, I would 100%, I would think that'd be possible in any scenario, virtually. And maybe you got to go on the higher side and get 12 feet versus like 5 feet down, and I do get that.
Well, I'm with you. I'm not pushing for 20 feet either necessarily.
Well, yeah, 100%. But I'm like, so my game is 2 sticks, and I only take 2 sticks. And if I need to get as high as I'll get is with those 2 sticks, or if I got to use branches or whatever. But at the same time, too, I do think it starts to play in like your type of hunting and what you're trying to look for. Like, I'm not a long range visual caller guy. I never have been.
Right.
So, for somebody who I do see the advantage of like sitting in a tower and like just observing for 2 days and like the height and like, oh shit, absorbing all the information and then attack, you know,
Right.
Which, oh man, I see, dude, last year I almost caved, dude. So I've never been, I think I've tried to call a deer a couple times, like years ago, maybe 10 years ago. It never worked out for me. Probably just didn't know. So I gave it up. I'm like, fuck this. I was like, this is stupid. Well, every year, man, like,
you got a buck roar here?
Every year I got buddies that are,
I got one for you.
They're like, oh, called him in from 50 yards or called him in from across the ridge. I'm like, dude, how are you doing? I'm like, so this year I'm like, all right, you got to give me, I talked to a buddy of mine. I'm like, all right, just give me a rundown, man. Let's hear what you're doing. Like what do you do, man? When you see him, when you see him cruising or whatever, and he does it, and I'm like, all right, okay, fucking whatever.
Who's a buddy?
What?
Do we know?
No, he's just, well, you might. He's a buddy of mine, or he's he's my tattoo artist, actually. He was at you might have met him at the Roadshow. His name is Josh Christic.
Yes.
Yeah, we met Josh.
Remember.
Yeah, so he's like, yeah, this is what I do or whatever, and my other buddy, he's Josh as well. They're like a duo, right? So he's a big, tall dude.
Yeah,
like
we spent some time with him in Iowa.
Yeah. Oh, dude, and he will just freaking lay on that thing. I'm talking toot it like it's like he's a kid with a fucking new toy, and and he's like, yeah, this is what I do. This gets them all fired up, and I'm like, dude, you are such a fucking, like, what are you guys doing out there, right? Well, and he called a buck in like early season, like fucking first week of the season, called him in with doing this tactic. He missed him, but whatever. and I'm like, man, maybe there is something to this calling. He's like, yeah, take my call out into the woods or whatever. And I remember I was out there, dude, and I was like in it. I was covered up, and this buck had this doe, like he was tenning her or whatever, and he was running back and forth. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna fucking call one in right now and smoke it. Dude, I let out that call. That fucker looked back up like it was the most absurd fucking sound he had ever heard, and was like, fuck this, and fucking just left. And I'm like, damn it. Like, and all I could think, it was like, he would have just worked his way here. And that's been my philosophy with calling forever, is like, if I go undetected, I have the element of surprise, but if I give away my location, like, it could end bad.
That is the risk. That is the risk,
yes,
for sure.
But I've also, like, I've been intrigued about, like, learning the language.
Dude, yeah, you gotta speak.
Because think of turkeys. Right. Like, dude, you start talking to a turkey and shit changes. I don't know,
dude, there is no doubt. I mean, you do run the risk of.
There's an art to it too. I mean, you're not going to just be out there like blowing and snort wheezing, and you gotta. I mean, especially when you get into, like, I blind call a lot, not like all the time, but like at the right times of the year. I'll blind call. Just have that feeling like, okay, like, and a lot of it's from like these hills and stuff. If they're running ridges and I don't do anything, they're not coming over. But if they're running ridges every 10 minutes coming by and they happen to hear that, then they may venture over.
Come investigate.
But I think the biggest key, just like that buck that you were watching, is, for me, it's what's the body language on that deer. like I'll watch most of those deer for 30 seconds and I'm like, he ain't gonna respond. Or like, you know, one that's ears back, all ripped up. I'm like, I can snort wheeze this son of a bitch to the base of this tree.
And he's gonna be.
But
and I'm
just reading
you got to
those.
make a decent call too. Like you probably got to be able to.
Yeah, and I would say that most of the calls that I do, I mean, besides maybe a snort wheeze, but like most of the grunts especially, like I don't think I've ever heard those. Like the sequences I do repeated in the woods, which is weird, right? Because you're like, why would you do that if you haven't heard it in the woods? But it again, for me, it's like I may grunt and I'll watch that deer, and if he doesn't look at me, then I'll hit him again, and then maybe he turns, and then it's almost like a turkey. Like when I have a turkey looking like he's coming, I'm not going to keep calling at him like he's coming.
Yeah. He's interested at that point, or at least thinking it through.
And so you don't want to alert him again or potentially give yourself away. So now you stay quiet, and he's going to be like, did I hear what I thought I heard? And then it's more of curiosity than it is like, I heard that, I'm coming over to kick his ass type of thing.
Yep, I better go check that out.
You should go with somebody. You should go with somebody.
And listen to him.
And just and just you'll live through a situation where you call one in. Yeah, and then he can explain to you why it worked and why it didn't. So because like, you know, you're gonna read the room originally. So like if that buck is preoccupied with a doe, like, you know, chances are you're not
That's a tough one.
You're not gonna call one off a doe more than likely anyways.
So, but here's the thing though, like when they're so dominant that they're not letting anything get within a certain amount of yardage, like
but you're talking about like a lockdown situation. They're gonna just hunker.
If you have a decoy,
you're not gonna.
Decoys.
Like because then
you're not gonna call one out of a lockdown situation. If you have a buck that's got a doe pinned down, like in Epstein Island, you know what I mean? You can get 50 yards from the thing. You can snort wheeze at him all day. He may at the very most stand up and be like, come get it. But he's not going to come in.
He doesn't see. If he visually sees,
you've seen him do it.
Different.
You've seen the young bucks, the big bucks, they won't stand up until the one's like in they got to get on them. The big one's going to like, okay, I got to get up and show you.
Yeah. I mean, I've had, whether or not they're in that phase of lockdown, I've had deer get up, and I think, you know, I've had them like they're bedded around with the doe, get up or hear a grunt, hear whatever, see something along the edge, get up and walk 50 yards and just start thrashing shit.
Yeah.
To like just to say a statement.
They will.
Yeah.
And they're not leaving her, but like, dude, some of these bucks I've seen, like you even fucking look that way, and they're like, they stand up, ears pinned back. Like those might be a caller then.
Sure.
I don't.
Well, I mean, you're reading a room at that point.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll try it. You know what I mean? You can test it. You can throw one out, you know, and if they don't respond, you know, then it is what it is, you know. Yeah. And some guys will escalate, you know. It's like maybe you start with a grunt, you know, maybe you escalate to like a snort wheeze, you know. It's like you gotta read it. A lot of times, like depending on if they're if you know the buck is is likely to respond, like he's territorial or whatever, and he's crossing, like he's covering ground, he's crossing from a bedding area to another one, or something. He's by himself. A lot of times, I'll just hit him with like if I'm like, I mean, you got to read it. You really do. But
it's
like
definitely for sure.
A lot of times, I'll start with a snort wheeze. I'm just gonna go right for it.
Catch him off guard. Like he's just going through. He's not expecting anything. All of a sudden, he gets hit with that, and immediately he's like, "Wait a minute." What?
And again, if he's a dominant buck and he's out cruising for a doe, he's gonna be like, "Oh,"
because that snort wheezes, and I mean, it's been documented time and time. You can see it. It's like they, as far as I know, they do that when they're squaring up, or they're they're establishing dominance,
or they're throwing a shot over the bow.
That's right.
For sure.
That's right.
Like,
and so when somebody else hears that, they're like, what?
Yeah.
I'll give you.
I've scared him away with snort wheezes.
I'll give you a good example. It was probably
I got the worst luck in calls.
I'm trying to think. May have been 3 or 4 years ago now when I was hunting that 200 in Columbus, Ohio. Yeah, I'd never seen this deer, but like it's a 200-inch deer. Like you got to think that he's. And I was sitting in this little walnut grove. Like it was just, it was like a managed farm, like little town, and then municipal parks and stuff. And I'm sitting there, and I just heard like, meh, meh. I'm like, what the hell? Like it sounded like like nothing, like
tendon grunt.
And that's what it was. Is all of a sudden he comes down the hill. I see the doe behind him, like pinned off to the side, and I see this like 140, 150 inch 10-point, like on the satellite, and like that was him coming down. And so there's a situation. It's like, okay, he's definitely guarding, but he's locked on to that thing. Yeah. I could have blown snort wheezes, grunts all day long. Like he was focused on that deer and his doe, right? Yeah. Unless now I have had people talk about, and I think I've done it once, where I've grunted and the doe actually will come in like almost to get away from him and pulls him right in, and I've killed him that way. But I mean, that's like calling in a hen turkey off of a henned up gobbler and, you know, killing her that way or killing him that way.
Yeah, shit, we had, just last weekend in Georgia, we had a speaker that went up and he was like 90, I think he said 95. It was definitely over 90.
Wow.
But I'm pretty sure he said 95% of the deer on his wall were called in. And I
thought you were saying how old he was.
Oh, no. No, he was just making a reference to like, he puts a lot of stake in calling, and it was like, he's like, you come into my trophy room, he's like 95% of them have all been called in. He's like, so like and I was like, holy shit.
I'm like, probably over 90%.
Think so?
Yep.
Called in?
Very few. Yeah.
Are you calling them in early, or is this just rut?
Mainly rut.
I mean, the earliest one I've ever called in was probably like late October, like that deer.
Yeah. See the mountain aspect and the big like pattern, big movers, that makes sense to me.
Because you got to get their attention. They're covering so much ground.
Yeah, and how you can sit there and just hope that they're going to hear it. Like, I get that.
It's like an every 15 to 30 minute thing. I might do a little series of calls and hope that somewhere in the next two ridges, like somebody hears that, and often you will. And, you know, maybe it's a 2-year-old or whatever, but like
that makes sense to me.
At that point in time, like, you're not just calling, like, I might have my call on them, but I don't think I've ever called one in like first week of October, right? The mood is just not set necessarily for that. Yeah. But by like the 23rd, 24th, like, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. I think my mind is so screwed, and I think it just goes to like, what is the chance that buck is going to hear my ugly grunt and not come here if he was going to come here? And I'm just like, oh, nope, don't do it. Don't you do it.
I mean, dude, if it gives you any confidence, like I've heard some pretty ugly sounding grunts that I thought sounded bad, like,
and they were real deer.
like TV stuff, like, and here they come.
Well, you know, it's like,
I've also heard freaking
really good grunts that didn't work.
No, I've heard grunts that I thought sounded terrible. And I turn around and there's a freaking deer standing there.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's real.
I heard that from a really like a world class turkey caller one time.
Yes.
And he was like, dude, if a turkey got up on stage, they would go dead last.
Yeah, they'd lose.
Yeah, he's like, they're just.
That's right.
And it's just one of those.
Well, I think it is very situational in terms of like what you're hunting. So like we talk about mountains, or even like where I'm at in Kentucky, it's like, dude, I don't really have pinch points and like tight funnels. Like, they just don't exist. And so, you know, I might be in where I think like trails are intersecting or where they're going, but like this deer have hundreds of acres of the same timber in front of me that they could be covering, right? Yep. So especially when we're talking about bow hunting, like, I got to draw them in 30 and in.
Yep.
You know, it completely different. Like where we're at in Illinois, I mean, I did call that one in that I killed on our farm, but, you know, most of those areas that we have stands set up, if the deer comes through there, he's in bow range.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a lot of those old timers that hunted ground hunted.
Yes.
were letting off calls because then they couldn't get picked off, and them deer had to come looking,
exactly,
you know, weaseling around, and then like when they, you know, clear a tree,
point blank.
Then they're point blank. And I've heard a lot of that too.
HUNTR Podcast is brought to you by Deer Grow.
Man, hard to believe, but Deer Grow has been the sponsor that's been there since the beginning of the HUNTR Podcast. Back in 2021, I think that they were the only partner that we had, but it's such a cornerstone brand and set of products for our food plot strategy throughout the year.
No doubt. And it seems like we used to have an off season, but not so much anymore. It's like when the hunting season ends, it really rolls right into food plot season, habitat projects, all of the above. And the Plot Start and Plot Boost have been there since the very beginning. That's a cornerstone for all of our plots. The Plot Start goes on at the beginning, Plot Boost goes on midway through. And since they came out with all of the fertilizers, that gets mixed in with the Plot Boost application as well. And I can't believe the results that we've been getting out of that.
Yeah, it's been awesome. Like I said, it's all the work now that really produces the results in the fall. So right now, anyone listening to HUNTR Podcast can use code HUNTR, HUNTR, for 15% off any of the products at deergrow.com.
Better food plots, bigger deer.
What about, do you do rattle at all?
No, I rattled when I was like, I remember when I was probably like 18, 19, I was getting into the rattling. I think I seen a TV show of somebody rattling like just an absolute hammer. And I would just think, like, I just had the concept of like, oh yeah, dude, if a giant's out there
and he hears
this, and I had. So I learned the hard way is like all giant deer aren't badasses.
Right. Yeah.
And I remember one time specifically, like I was in a tree stand and the same thing happened to me. I was rattling in small bucks, no problem. Like I was like, oh, this is really cool. It's fun. Like I hit these horns together. They come up. They knew the gig was up like when they got there, but I could have shot them, and I was having fun with it. And I had a true giant that I hit the horns and watched him like the life was just scared from his, like he just like stoned up and turned around and tucked tail and ran. And I know he didn't get my wind or nothing. I just think he literally
was
didn't
a
want
lover,
to fight.
not a fighter.
Yeah, and I was just like, oh my God, like the feeling in my stomach that I just ruined my own hunt like killed me. So that was the last time I rattled.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I think I used to rattle a lot, and I would rattle in a lot of young bucks. I can't recall one time that I've ever rattled in a buck, like a mature buck.
Like a giant, yeah.
And I carry my call with me all the time, but I've slowly started to get away from rattling antlers. Just 'cause I rattle in a ton of 3-year-olds.
Yeah.
And then especially when you rattle, I mean, those guys are coming to the base of your tree because they're pinpointing that.
Well, that was another thing is like I hated giving up my location.
Exactly.
And then I'm usually low. So if I'm rattling, and then I'm giving up, like being low and giving up your location is, I mean, with grunting I could see, but that rattling, dude, and then you got the horns
because you're moving so much more,
and then you got those to worry about.
Yeah,
too.
you're
like,
trying to stash them away when you hear coming.
Yeah, and I guess I'm just always like scared that something's right beyond the ridge that I'm like, oh, don't do.
That's what I ask people, and it, you know, you can't say big buck because like you know people kill 150-inch 3-year-old, like that's a big buck, but.
Yeah.
Like if you think about like an old buck, like a mature 5-6-year-old, I can't remember ever rattling in a mature deer.
Yeah,
and personally,
I have in Kansas. For sure.
Here's a crazy story.
I think so yeah.
That same Josh guy, right? So I remember like this was back in the day, dude, probably like 17, 18, whatever. He was like, man, I want to get into bow hunting, you know, and I'm just like, all right, yeah, like for sure, man, I'll help you out, like so. We got him set up with a bow. We started shooting. He was a dead eye, like a crack shot. And like, this is one thing about me too. Like anybody who's shot with me makes fun of me a lot because like in the backyard, it's like not good. So he was like, he was like,
it's like not good,
like like a bigger group or not good like. I
was just always like in my mind. I'm like, okay, well, if I can hit a pie plate, I can kill a deer, and
that's how I was raised.
Well, yeah, but and then even shooting, like I just was like, I don't know, man. I could just never hit like I could never drill tacks like these guys are. Even at 15 yards, like I'm just like, what? You know, they're kill shots, but and they just be like, dude, how do you freaking shoot a deer? I'm like, it's just different in game time. It's just different. And but anyway, he was a really good shot, so I'm like, dude, all I got to do is get this dude like 35 yards from a freaking deer and it's game over. But I remember, so I had my tag punched and I put him on this piece. It's like a 15-acre piece in the middle of 2 big chunks. It was just and it was like November 6th. I was glassing the roads. I was putting them, we hung 2 stands. That was when I hung stands really crazy high and stupid. I put him in a couple stands, whatever. He had a couple good hunts, but he's like real green. And I'm like, you know what? Like I went and chopped the antlers off a deadhead in the shed, and like that night we were hanging out and we went and hung this stand at the mouth of a draw in a little cedar tree, and it was a short little stand, and it like shot this little flat at the top of this draw, and it was this giant like 1,000 acres of public at the bottom of the draw, 2 private pieces to the left and right, and I was like, you know what, let's go, we need to get you down there tonight or tomorrow evening. Perfect win, like you just need to hit these fuckers together. So we started going over a rattling sequence. I'm like, all right, one big smack, and then just like act like you're trying to get them together, but you're not. They're not getting it, like they're locked, like you can't. I was like, then separate them and just keep hammer. I was like, do that for like 5 minutes at like 5:27, like just go fucking nuts. And I'll never forget the look on that fucker's face when he came walking back to camp. He rattled in a legit 220-inch deer. Like it came to the base of his tree and he shit his pants. Like and it was just one of those things where I'm like, why didn't you shoot it? And he was like, well, I mean, dude, you see, and he knows what a big deer looks like. He's seen the house. He's like, and he's telling me about it.
You know the deer?
Well, no. So I had no idea. We're hunting the rim of a piece of public, and he's explaining the deer to me, and I'm like, okay, he probably seen 160, you know, with he's like, it had a drop tine like this, and it looked like a gourd from the pumpkin patch, and it had like 7 brow tines, and I'm just like, okay, like, you know, 7 brow, whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah, you seen a giant?
He's like, they're supposed to have 2, right?
I'm like, yeah, I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like, you seen a giant or whatever, and I'm like, okay, you probably seen it. It's probably a good one. And I'm like, damn, my takes fucking Phil. I'm like, shit. And and then,
okay, I'm gonna put you in another spot tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just like,
I'm gonna go check it out.
I'm just like,
we're gonna check it
there's
out.
an absolute mega here, and like, dude, he would be jacked with a 140. But anyway, so but then I'm like, and he's like, well, I got a picture of it, and I was like, you got a picture of it, and you didn't lead with that? Like, show me the picture. And like, he pulls out his phone, and I was like, first of all, what were you doing snapping a picture of it? So he's got a picture through the cedar limbs of this just cage sitting there, like looking completely away. No peripheral vision.
Word.
And it's like, and there's like 2 limbs, and it's right, it's like, it's back, like its shoulder blades are right in the opening. And there wasn't an opening at that point, but like to get there had to be an opening.
We would have got an arrow.
I was like, dude, why didn't you put an arrow through that cedar branch?
It was a 220.
Oh, dude, it was all it was all 220. Like, I mean, and then the next day we went and we ran into some old timer that was like,
and he knew about
bogarting that spot, dude. Yeah. Oh, dude, we were close to the line, and it got gnarly. Like, so like,
yeah,
I knew
it was a super giant.
Oh, I knew after that it was game over. But like, I'm like, dude, just go out there and hit these horns together. Like, I think it was literally just like
right time,
right place. He probably just kicked the doe. Like he was cruising.
His testosterone's blown through the roof.
I don't know, man. So like anything can happen, but it's like
it
shit.
can, yeah,
yeah. But I don't know, yeah.
No, I mean, I think they can, dude. The calling thing can absolutely. It has to be. Like, I know during that time period, like even say, whatever, 20th of October to end of November, like I feel rock solid when I make a call.
Yeah.
Just because again, maybe despite everything else, like I'm killing deer by calling them in, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. You're confident with it, too, and you know what you're doing. It's
versus like if the first 3 experiences I have, I'm just blowing it. It's like eventually you're like, man, this shit sucks. And like you never have confidence picking that up in a situation.
Well, so that's another topic is like, I dove into this in a recent conversation too, and it's like the mind, man, the mindset, and the confidence and the visualization and the manifesting.
Is that what you're saying?
I'm just saying, I'm talking in general of hunting and how much like I put that stuff into hunting.
Oh yeah.
And when all of a sudden you interject calling into it, I'm a mess and I have no confidence. There's no manifest, like no part in my brain. No part in my brain sees a buck coming in after I call him.
Yeah,
and I think that could be a reason too.
Absolutely.
Now that's getting deep into the hippie realm.
No, but I think that's
well,
that's
it's probably translating to like the tone. Not that I don't know if they can hear that necessarily, but if your grunt sounds like a question mark, you know what I mean? It's like
sounds like a trumpet.
Yeah, like what? Yeah, like a fucking
I'm Ron Burgundy.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Well, shit. I don't know, man.
Maybe you had the wrong call too.
I don't know.
I think I've only used one call.
You seem pretty torn up over it. I mean, dude, it's not.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I mean, you should just try it. I mean, take one with you. Like, what's it gonna hurt to mess around?
Or I just keep doing what I'm doing. I don't know.
You'll know it though, dude. I think back to the situational of the deer. Like, it'd be great if you have one like with you, because if that stud comes, creeping through the field, ears back and stuff. Dude, if you call at him, he's coming.
Well, dude, last year I can tell. So, for instance, a buck I was hunting last year, and with the trad game and stuff, it's like I'm a decent shot, like whatever, but I still want to get him. I'm about getting him close. And oddly enough, when I went full trad, like I needed to get a little further shot than closer because of the length of the bow. But anyway, the target buck I had last year, one of my target bucks I had inside a 30. 3 times.
Woof.
And just could not, like, and in my mind I was just like, well, it's just a matter of time before I get him at 15 and I'll smoke him. But like I can think back to like 3 different times where he was skirting through to where like maybe he got out of sight and I let out a little call and maybe did I miss something, like, and hook back in 15 yards closer. So like that's where it started eating at me, like, okay, am I missing something? But last time I thought I was missing something was like 2000, I don't know, 9. And I was like, I got to start shooting farther distances. And I started practicing. I think I told you guys. I started practicing a 40, 40, 40. And then I shot a buck in the knee at fucking 6 yards. and I was, oh, dude, it was the worst thing ever. I was like, I was so shocked, dude. I was like, oh, I'm dialed. Nothing's getting by me yet. nothing's ever getting by me. And I was like, because I was just shooting good at 40.
Yeah.
Like pie plate. So I'm like, okay, 30, they're dead. And then I'm like, I'm dialed. No way. Because like all the bucks that got by me at 30, I'm like, if I could have those on the wall, it'd be game over. And then at 6 yards, I just rock one in the knee. And I'm just like,
well, I mean, dude,
So I just abandoned everything and I went back to what works. And I'm like, screw it, never look back.
It's worth doing that. I mean, that's kind of what I was gonna say here. Is like, are you displeased with like the success that you're having? Like, are you? You know what I mean? I'm just saying, is there?
Well, here's the thing.
I guess you can always be better.
Well, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But that's the thing. I'm just like, I have the mindset.
Like,
of
are you killing every deer that you're after? If so, like,
okay,
but then who are we? You know?
Well, can I do it faster? Is there a way I could do it faster?
Maybe.
Is there a way I could? That's what I'm saying. So like, I'm just always. I do believe in leaving well enough alone, but at the same time, I'm always trying to raise my bar.
Right.
And my goal is to be literally the absolute most savage hunter I can be.
Well, I mean, it definitely
and
seems
if I
like
can master calling, if I can do things like, whatever, I'm just always open-minded. And like I heard that dude at the Roadshow, I'm like, fuck, man, if this dude's killed 30 plus deer, calling them in, like, okay, there's obviously something to this. A lot of people do it. Maybe I should dabble with that. And it's not that I'm going to change my game, but if I can add that trick to the bag, will that make me a more even deadlier person in the woods? And that's what I'm after. You know?
Yeah.
Let me pose this to, I guess, both of you guys here, but I do think that there's a handful of guys who are just, go ahead.
No, sorry.
Who are accomplished enough that, like, you know, you can put them in a room and they can read a piece of, you know, you can give them some information about a deer and they can say, that's the tree. They can wait for the right day. They can go in and they can kill it.
Yeah.
You know, it's, there's an equation for that, right? I think enough people that have kind of figured that every deer is different. I'm not saying it's like easy peasy.
Yeah, but there's a knack to that.
I do. I get to a point where it's doable. You know what I mean? Especially if you own the farm.
Yeah.
Right. Then you're like, okay, I could do this.
Yep.
So then I think a lot of guys who have done that enough times will start to maybe pull back and they want to increase the quality and holding capacity of the property itself. And so that means staying out of some of the best areas.
Yeah.
And or saying, hey, okay, I'm going to kill them, but I'm going to do it here. I'm going to design this piece of the property so that they do this way. I'm not going to interfere with everything that's all the deer stuff that's happening internally.
So you're saying they use calling then as
You've said this, I believe, even on another podcast, something about like, hey, there's the X. I found the X. I can hunt the X. I could kill him here, but
it's not always these.
Maybe that's not where I should be. Maybe I'm going to interfere more. Maybe I will kill him there, but what damage am I going to cause in the meantime?
100%.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, and that's where like, that's what you're saying about calling?
Well, that's the question that I'm posing about like, you're saying, can I do it faster? Can I do it better? You know, and I'm saying, well, is that better? You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
Is calling one in better? I mean, I wouldn't classify. I mean, I'd classify it as a kill. It's a means to an end. But like, I just look at it as being like the most. It's like I look at that like with athletics too, right? Like I want to be the most. This is how I look at it. I want to be the most rounded athlete possible. Like in my mind, that's the ultimate athlete. If like you can deadlift 500 pounds, but like you can't catch up to me if I fucking run down the block, like that don't mean shit to me.
Right.
Like, dude, I'll have you gassed out. Like it you know what I mean? So like to me. That dude who just squatted 500 pounds and ran a 6-minute mile in the same day, the whole CrossFit thing, that's a beast.
That's a beast.
That is a straight beast, man. Like, and so I kind of look at like hunting like that too. Is like, okay, well, what can I stack against myself? What can I do? How can I be more efficient? And just competing to be like the most well-rounded. Like if I could say, like if I could add that to my bag is like, you know, communicating with deer, like via their language. I think that'd be a pretty damn good skill.
Dude, there's a ton of like I won't say it's success, but there's a weird connection. Like, and again, we brought this up on the Iowa one, so I won't beat it too much. But like, I snort wheezed that Iowa buck I killed last year 6 times, I think, before I killed him. Maybe 7. I can't even remember. I was just I was in like a blackout mode, you know. Yeah. But it's like, and like these deer around here wouldn't do that. But like, he was just doing what deer did, and he was. I mean, dude, he was all ripped up. His ears were back. He was like, just the entire mood he was doing was, I'm here to just kick ass, right?
Yeah.
So every time I did it, he responded, right? And eventually he hooked through long enough that I could get a shot at him. And like once that was done, it was like, holy shit, like I fooled his ass. Like I can't believe that he kept falling for that.
Yep.
And so there's a really cool feeling, especially like when you see them or you've done a blind call or whatever, like, and then all of a sudden he's coming in, it's like he thinks I'm him, right? Yeah. Like on the other side, which, so there is that cool aspect, but to me it's a means to the end, particularly for bows. It's like I need him in bow range. Yeah. That calling is purely to get him into range. Like if I do a blind grunt and all of a sudden I see this, 130-inch 3-year-old up on the ridge, I'm not going to call at him. Like I don't want him in my wheelhouse, right? Keep moving. That's not what I'm looking for. Yep. But it was cool to see that he responded. Now, if it's a 5-year-old that's 150 up there, then I'm all right. Now, what do I got to do to get him into range?
Yep. And I actually, now that you say that, dude, I equate it to now that I'm turkey hunting a lot more and hunting on the ground, like stalking with the longbow. It's like you get that Tom who he doesn't really know, but then you start like trying different languages, and all of a sudden you do that like ground scratch, and like whatever you do to like that ticks him over the edge, that actually makes him come the distance. Yeah, and he commits. Like I'm sure that's what you're talking about.
That's
right?
exactly what.
And it's like, oh yeah, like it's definitely a win over because they're he's hanging up. Damn, what the hell? Scratch the ground a little bit, or some whatever. Purring, whatever. But it's just I could see that.
All of a sudden he commits, and it's like I got your ass at this point.
Yeah, that's pretty sick.
Yeah, it's cool. It's just and again, it's all it is a tool in the tool belt though.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like if he's coming in on a string, I'm not gonna pull it out and grunt at him, right? There's no need. He's coming in.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't think either of us are going to the stand like, oh, I'm gonna go start my rattle sequence. I'm gonna go like it's not like it,
but a lot of
I know some people do. It's just but they're there, and at some point in the morning we're probably like,
well, here's the thing.
I think it's time for for this.
I think there's a difference in tactically calling and just using it as a fail, like using it as like there's people that just go out there.
They're just throwing Hail Marys all morning.
There's no rhyme or reason. They don't even understand what's going on about the cruising pattern, and like they're just like,
yep, every 10 minutes. Every 10 minutes. Every 10 minutes.
I will say this, dude. There's a critical flaw in like there's a moment where you see a big buck and and you're like, do I go for my phone, my camera, or my bow, or my grunt tube? I'm guilty of this.
I don't have
I'm
the
like
grunt tube in there, but yes, I 100% get what you're saying.
Well, but I mean, in this conversation, that's what I'm picking on here.
Oh,
so I'm saying when it comes to calling, like it's like the deer could be coming right at you, and somebody might pick the grunt call right up and be, am I gonna call at him? Like he might be coming anyways.
Yeah.
And so you can mess it up by doing it, because then you're right, you're giving away your position. It's like they very well might have. So that's the art of letting it play out versus.
My first move is usually hand to the bow.
Yeah, you got to get that bow. You got to get that bow.
Hand to the bow.
Right to the bow.
Right to the bow.
That's the thing, man.
It's there.
I believe you got to get that bow ready.
He's coming, hands on the bow, and then I'll figure the rest out. As long as I have that on. Like
if you don't have that bow ready, dude, and something happens quick, you're screwed.
Yeah. Like, it's not happening.
I do. I'm with you there. But that whole thing about like, you start filming hunts and shit too, and then you're like,
dude, that's a mess.
I gotta turn my camera on, and before you know it, that's why I tell everybody who starts filming, I'm like, well, you be prepared. You will mess up.
You'll blow
deer, but you got to be okay with that. And if you're okay with it, you got to be just.
I'll tell you what, it does. You become really good at micro movements when you film. Yeah. Because just like you said, okay, do I need to call? Like everything you're doing, you have like one peripheral on that deer and your micro moves on everything else. And it's
you're multitasking.
It's kind of weird because part of the Roadshow, man, like I have plenty of guys when in Iowa, they were like, well, like you guys are filming, like, and I'm like, dude, I don't know if I can even explain how I do it. And like, I know I could tell you my setup and how I have it, but like when a deer's coming in and I'm getting in position, like I just black out basically. I just do the motions.
Yeah, you
like,
have. Well,
there's nothing there.
You have the natural ability to be watching them and making your moves subtle so you don't get picked off. And then it might just be hard to like explain that step by step. But that's where I would be willing to bet your gear placement is huge for that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like like where your camera's sitting, that's your bow is going to be clearing your camera.
My grunt call is in my side pocket on my right hand, where my release is bent back. My camera arm is on my right hand.
Here you go. Exactly.
Left hand's always on the bow.
See, we're getting it.
You know, another one that we all probably do, just subliminally, is you use yourself for a silhouette.
Oh yeah.
You know, you're like,
dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Because you. Well, dude, that's what I don't get about. Like, let me just grab. There's
no,
you can't do it
when you have to go when your nose is this. But dude, that's the whole thing about the, and I'm not knocking the saddle guys, but it's just like, I want that tree behind me. Movement. Like everything I do is like, that's like, I am not, if I break the plane, I feel like my arm just gets cut off. Like that's how I'm moving.
That was, see, that's what
that's lava.
Yeah, it doesn't.
See, that's what a lot of people didn't, and especially hunting low too, and like behind you, and there's the movement, right? Like the whole concept is to keep shit inside the bus, right? And,
that's right.
And like, and that's where I was like,
you need to make a t-shirt that says keep it in the bus.
I did like the waist pack, right? Because I hang that right between my legs and I can put my phone right there and I can grab anything right there and it's nothing from behind me. Like if I'm in this plane, if I'm in the bus, like I'm fucking golden. You know? And then like you said, even, you got to fucking come up. You're coming up like this. You're not.
Yep.
That's right.
And it's, we're not waving hands out here.
Just
no happy hands.
I don't like that.
Yeah,
do you run a bino harness?
I go back and forth with bino harnesses. So I usually run them early, and then as soon as like I need to start putting on more layers, I ditch them, and then I use my
just because they're a pain to
my pack.
Take off and put back over.
I don't like the bulk, and then when I start to need to carry like hat and gloves and stuff to where I need like a little bag, I don't want to have a bino harness and a bag. So my bino harness is my bag early season,
right?
Because I don't really take anything; it's in my pockets. But like when
really,
when it starts to get cold,
how do you carry? Where you attach your camera arm to your base?
Yeah, so like I'll attach my camera arm to the seat if I'm running the camera arm, or if
how do you show us how you do that? By the way,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
it's like and I'll run an accessory strap. It's super slick. It's just one strap around the bottom. I put my little bit of hockey tape on the two rungs where it hits, and it sticks too. So I put that camera arm under the seat and just cinch it down with one strap,
it down,
and it's always there. And then that way, but a lot of times, like lately, I've been doing more first-person vlog stuff. So like I have a little a clamp arm. That I literally just keep in my pocket or I tuck in my bino harness, and I'll run that as one angle, or I'll have a camera on my bow. Like last year, that footage I got was actually a GoPro that I like strapped onto the longbow. So like I don't film to the point of like the Addictions guys are filming with like the whole.
Neither do we.
Yeah, so I just want.
We're GoPro and a phone.
Yeah, 100%. So,
which is awesome. I think it turns out. I mean, with today's technology, it looks great.
Oh, dude, it looks awesome. It's plenty. I mean, if you're trying to do a film for like the freaking film festival or something, obviously you need to get a little better. But yeah, dude, that little pocket arm, you strap that under the seat.
Thing's legit.
And you just with the phone clamp.
I think mine sits in the slot,
packs.
whatever the smaller pack is, lone wolf pack. Sits in that back
the
slot.
medium pack.
Yeah, the little half pack. Yeah,
and then and then strap that into the stand. And dude, I'm telling you that setup is. I take that from early season through late season. That's all I need.
And that's my late season pack. So like that's what I'll switch to.
Yeah.
When I ditch the bino harness, I usually just run one like solo cross strap on the binos, and then I'll just have them sitting right here, and if I can pull them up.
Use a rangefinder?
No.
Oh,
I've never used a rangefinder. That's what? What do you mean? That's why? What do you?
No, okay. That's not what I meant. I meant that's why you can get away without a bino. This is what I meant.
Oh, I got you. I got you.
It wasn't 6 yards in the kneecap. It was actually 12.
Yeah, it was actually. It was like 4.
Not that you needed to range that one, but
well, it's interesting. I honestly, that bino harness is like a comfort item to me. Like it's like. I don't mind. I don't mind the bulk. It's just I have everything I need. My phone slips in right behind my binos. I got my rangefinder here. I got my headlamp in here. I got my chapstick in here. I have everything like kind of right. My license is in there. But I run a pack too. Especially, I mean, early season. Yeah, you could probably get away with it. But especially getting into the rut, it's like, dude, I need a charger for my phone. I need snacks for like an all day sit. Like you start need to pack.
My water bottle goes in that little packet, and this one goes right into the side.
You need water, exactly. If maybe I have like my gutting stuff, I keep that in my pack and stuff too.
Safety harness rope.
Yeah. That's why I grab a pack late. Like I don't take too much stuff because I don't do all day hunts. But like, I don't know. I just hate having.
You wear a safety harness at 6 feet?
Yeah, so I wear it's a waist harness. It's like so I started using.
Of course you do.
I started using a rock harness.
Like a rock climber harness.
Well, dude. When I was like, shit, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like
I mean, dude, those in the lineman's belts were the OGs.
Yeah, I used to be I get so pissed off at that tether hitting my neck and like not like you have clothes that don't have an opening for it, whatever. And I just hated the full body thing. It just seemed to be a pain in the ass. So I grabbed one of my rock climbing harnesses and started running that. And then like Yeah, dude, honestly now, like I usually try and hook up when I'm hunting, but I'm hunting so low, like most of the time that like, dude, I just set my stand up and then I, hook up before I step in.
Step onto it.
Yeah, I got to not that. Sometimes it can be that low, but
Huck in.
Yeah.
Whoa.
This was scary, but yeah. So I got like it's a super lightweight, minimal, like waist harness, and I just literally tether in so that it's no bulk.
Yeah,
it's easy to hike in. It's just there, and then at least I know I'm not gonna hit the ground. It's like one of those things where.
Well, you might. You're only 6 feet.
Well, no, I still won't hit. Yeah. No, I mean, like when I'm tethered in, I can't.
Oh,
hit.
yeah,
I'm just saying, like that's my one thing for a safety harness. Like suspension trauma always kind of freaked me out too. Like,
like
shit.
hanging there.
Well, yeah, you slip and like you're, dude. You want to talk about some horror stories, man? Like somebody got their pant leg caught on a screw-in step, and literally the platform was like 10 inches from. They just couldn't lift their foot up to step on it. Suspension trauma done.
What happened?
Whoa.
Yeah, they died.
Yeah, what happened though?
They just slipped off their tree stand.
Okay.
And you know how like you have your slack in your tether?
Yeah.
So he fell down, probably maybe
2 foot.
Yeah, 2 foot. Enough to where you could lift your foot up and go right back on the platform.
Right.
But in the fall, his pant leg his screw-in step punctured his pant leg.
So it was like restricting it.
Yeah, he couldn't lift his foot. And he couldn't lift the other one because it was stuck in there. And, he's just hanging there trying to put his foot back, couldn't spin. It's just, dude, just shit happens, man. You never know. Like, and yeah, he ended up, if you're,
how did he die? Hanging
suspension trauma.
From the trees?
Did you not know that?
Yeah, I've heard of it. If you hang for long enough.
It's not long at all. It's like 20 minutes.
And just the circulation?
Yeah, it cuts your circulation off and you go night-night.
So you better off like cutting it?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
If
you can't get off, cut that thing and take that fall all day. 100%.
Maybe we just
I've definitely heard of it. I think it's one of those things that I just like, I feel like you beat with physical fitness. Like how I could never see myself in a situation where I'm like, what do you mean you can't pull yourself up?
Well, but that's the scary thing is something stupid like that. It's almost like a damn, what's that movie? Final Destination. It's almost like some crazy shit.
Yeah, that shit happens.
Like sometimes that.
Yeah, you just freak out.
So here's the thing. So let's say you slip. You could be the fittest dude in the world, but if you crack your head on a branch and it knocks you out for 15 minutes.
That's fair.
You're out.
Or it knocks you out for 10 minutes and you're disorientated, and then it's that pressure being in the harness. And I remember Dad did some work, back in the day. He did some work with the TMA organization, and he actually designed or was working on a design like to relieve that tension. It was like a release valve thing, and it never went anywhere.
Talking about one that lets you down slowly.
Yeah, just
We've
one.
Seen some of those,
just
right?
one
Somebody has one now.
Yeah, like there's
that, like you hit it and it'll just like let you down.
It's called like a spider or something.
Yeah, they're a lot more like advanced now, almost like mechanisms.
But his was more of like
this was a very simple mechanical
pull
thing
the cord
that didn't make it crazy. But at least if you could do that to like, let's say, drop 2 feet, you could get to a limb or you could maybe get to your step. But I don't know, man.
Even if you drop 10 feet and break a leg, that's better than hanging
20 minutes? How? I mean, I'm sure it'd be a pretty simple study to conduct.
I would look it up right now.
If you hang from a just harness and you hang, like how long until you are on the verge of passing out?
I bet you could probably look it up and get an exact minute. It is not long, dude.
Damn.
It's like it's not long. Like how long does trauma or suspension trauma take to set in?
I didn't know that was a real thing.
Oh yeah, it's so that's what always like. That's why they say it's very important. You get these guys who wear a harness, but they don't tighten up their tree tether.
Oh yeah. So it's just super loose.
Well, yeah, and
so
if
it says suspension trauma can set in as early as 5 to 10 minutes after a person is suspended in a harness.
Dude.
However, the exact same time frame can vary depending on factors such as age, fitness level. So it says people who are physically fit may be able to tolerate suspension for
probably
longer
because you have a
periods.
stronger heart.
Yeah,
your body weight. And harness design.
Dude, you're a little overweight. Dude, that is insane. 5 to 10 minutes, dude. I thought it was like 20.
That's nothing, dude.
But that's what I'm saying, man. And you start panicking.
Yeah, especially if you can't get anything.
Yeah.
Like it's one thing if you fall and then you're like, okay, I'm back on.
And that's what I like about a rock harness is some people didn't like it because they don't like the fact of being able to tip. I would rather tip and get tumbled around than be hanging there like a scarecrow and pass out. So like that's why like my waist harness, I tether in from the right. And the nice thing about it too is when you center to the tether, when you fall, it spins you. it spins you to the tree. You don't just fall and you're hanging like away from the tree and you can't.
You can get it.
So the nice thing is you have that tether tension that's pulling from your center. So even if you're hanging this way, physics are gonna they're gonna want to help you get back to the tree. So I like that about it. It just, I don't know, it's always freaked me out.
Well, I mean, anything like that. I mean, because obviously a normal harness being back there, but like I think if you had anything around your waist, even if you fall, you almost could grab it and like use your feet against the tree to climb your
100%,
almost like a reverse rappel.
Well, here's the thing: if you're sitting in a waist harness with leg straps, and it has to have leg straps, but if you're sitting in there and you put your feet against a tree, you could chill out there for freaking an hour. Yeah, it's not cutting your circulation off like your whole body.
It's just all weight pulling down, and then with that behind you, it's not like you're not gonna have the strength to grab that and pull yourself up.
And I'm telling you right now, like even fit guy, like I would say we're pretty fit for the average person, all of us. Even a fit guy, I think if you hung him in a harness like that, it would be a little tricky. Like it might surprise you at how hard it would be, and that would matter too if you had your tether where it was supposed to be and you only dropped 6 inches. But if you had it loose and you dropped 2 feet or something, and let's say there was a limb there, I don't know. It's just shit can happen.
That's interesting. I mean, I hate.
It's like drowning in a puddle. Like it happens.
Right.
It's kind of crazy, but it happens.
Yeah, I don't like the.
Okay, maybe I ruined it.
It can happen.
That's a good analogy.
With somebody's foot on your head, know. Yeah.
Well, dude, I don't know, man. You pass out drunk, and like your mouth and nose lands in water, and you're done.
You're done.
Or like you hit your head, you get knocked out, and there's a little water there.
That's I think a valid argument. If you hit your head, or you get injured on the way down.
I do think that and I mean, anybody that uses a full body harness has kind of gone through the motions, but especially when you're going opposite side shot, like sometimes you got to go under or over, your tether essentially. Yep. That would be having that not in the way on a waist would be nice.
Oh yeah.
That is to me is a non-issue. I can't believe how many people I've seen do that, where they turn and face the tree and then they just pull their bow back. I'm like, there's no thought given to that. I'm like, have you never worn a harness before? Like just go like this and draw it. And then the thing is sitting well below your...
Well, it's because a lot of them pull them uber tight and they can't go over them because they're so tight.
Which is how you're supposed
to use them.
So yours is that loose, like you'd definitely be falling a little further.
Because they're going to pull it tight to where if they start to lean forward, they're not leaving the platform before it's tugging on them. Yeah. You're leaving the platform and then it's tugging on you.
Yeah, I mean
my tether is the same length as everybody else's.
No.
Yeah, but you have to tighten it. You have to tension it, don't you?
Yeah,
it's a rubber elastic.
Yeah, but it doesn't necessarily.
But how high
have to be...
you put it on the tree is how tight it is.
I put it head level,
loose enough. So
here's the rule of thumb.
Yeah, you need a little bit of slack.
Here's the rule of thumb. Like that tether. Supposed to be. You're supposed to feel the tension on your body when you're in a seated position. Like so.
Yeah.
But that's...
I mean, I don't test it every time, but my rule of thumb is I want to be able to stand on the edge of my thing and lean out just a little bit.
And just let Jesus take the wheel.
And let it roll, if I can roll out.
Yeah. I think yours is too loose.
No, come on.
I bet when you're sitting, you have slack in it.
Bottom line is okay, we want to wear something to keep us from hitting the ground, but in that circumstance, man, like if you're hanging there and you can't get I'd take the cut any day.
I mean, hey, listen.
Yeah.
That's another advantage to hanging low.
100%, man.
6 foot drop's better than a 20-foot drop.
For sure.
Yeah, dude.
Be safe, hunt low.
I fell out of a low setup. The top stick. I literally fell backwards and landed straight on my back. It was gnarly, but it was
2 feet.
Yeah. Had that been 20,
I mean, if you did that, even if you did that standing on the ground, that's not good.
Yeah, I know. They actually say OSHA, they say when you're, what is it, is it 10 inches? It's something has to do with your height, but it's something crazy, 10 inches. When you're 10 inches off the ground, you should actually have a safety harness on because of the trajectory of your head. If you're taller than a certain, and technically a tall individual by OSHA rules should wear a harness without even being elevated.
Just walking around on a daily basis.
Just because of how high their head is.
Tethered in all the
just
time.
In case.
HUNTR Podcast is brought to you by Lone Wolf Custom Gear.
Man,
those lone wolf stands have become such a cornerstone of our equipment over, recently, but I mean, also we've been using these stands for a long time, even the original lone wolves. They're all built right here in the United States. The lines just keep getting better and better. Cody and Andre and the whole team just keep innovating and introducing new stuff into the line this year. And they've got some new things coming this year.
Yeah, so this year we've got the Patriot Series, which, a lot of people are talking about this as being the cheaper, just fixed position side of things. But let's be honest, they can be mobile too, right? They weigh 12 pounds, but they're built from a value standpoint. So for guys like us who want to have 3, 4, 5 preset stands out there for certain wins, we can put this Patriot Series out there, have them ready. Nothing better than slipping up into one of these fixed position stands that's already set on the right wind.
No doubt. And so this year, as of right now, you can use code HUNTR, HUNTR. It's a one-time use promo code. Gets you 10% off anything on the Lone Wolf Custom Gear website. That's any of the custom gear stuff, any of the Patriot Series. So whether you're planning on getting into one for the first time or you want to stack a big order here before the season, code HUNTR will get you 10% off.
Hunt like a wolf. Well, listen, back on the Roadshow, you guys changed the name.
Oh, yeah. It was the...
You didn't tell us either. We're out here like, make sure you sign it. Yeah.
Dang, I'm pretty sure I told you.
I don't know.
Maybe. What was the big motivation?
So, man, I just... Honestly, dude, I got tired of everybody using the Mobile Hunter thing. And honestly, one of my biggest regrets when I did the Mobile Hunter Roadshow was that I didn't trademark Mobile Hunter. And I know better than that. I'm just like, because I started using it, and then literally like 2 months later, an expo popped up, Mobile Hunter Expo, and I'm just like, God damn! And then a Mobile Hunter get together, and then a Mobile Hunter shebang, and then like before I knew it, I'm just like, there was so much confusion, guys. Like I was getting messages, like it got to the point where I started getting messages, and they're like, dude, what the hell, man? Like I booked a ticket to your show. I was hoping to talk to you, and you weren't there. Like, and I'm like, what show did you go to? They're like the Mobile Hunter Expo, like in Georgia or whatever. I'm like, dude, we're not the Mobile Hunter Expo. We're the Mobile Hunter Roadshow. Yeah. And it was pissing me off, dude. And I just, like, I don't care. Anybody, whatever, go do your other show. But, like, we're so much different than anything that anybody else puts on because it's way more educational based and it's way more personable and it's informative. And it's like how-to. It's not just like another trade show. And a lot of these guys jumped at it because they seen we were doing it, and all of a sudden, I'm in. I'm gonna have a Mobile Hunter, and then they call up random brands that they think meet the Mobile Hunter guideline or spectrum, and they're just selling booth space, and they have another expo. Like, it's not what we're doing. Like, our shit is dialed to make you a better hunter. Like, that's the number one goal is like camaraderie, meet like-minded dudes, like help you progress your game, and like, we got a few brands that stick by that. Onyx has supported it from day one. Vortex has supported it from day one. Like, I'm super thankful for those guys. And obviously, Lone Wolf and my own brands. Like, it's what we use and it's what all our guys use. And we just, it's not even, it's just what it is, So, so I changed the name because of that. And I also, too, wanted to change the look and feel a little bit to align more with my personal stuff because I feel like a lot of this stuff is based off of me and like the guys that I've met over the years and the people that I've, because it started by doing trade shows, and I've just been doing trade shows since I was like very young, 13 years old, whatever, and met a lot of good people at the trade shows, sold a lot of stands, like helped a lot of people. Like, it's just, dude, I can probably, everybody in my circle in the hunting realm was met at some form of a trade show here or there. So when COVID hit and they stopped trade shows, they shut them down, I was like, damn, what the hell am I going to do, And so I took to the road that year. Was the first year. It wasn't the official year, but I took to the road in a van just with my gear and like was like, hey, man, if you want to check out the gear, I'll be around here, or I'll be here at this day or whatever. And people dug it, and, we'd have, 25 people in a parking lot. And then the next year I'm like, and they still didn't open up trade shows. So I was like, fuck this. I ain't sitting idly by. Like, I'm going to create an event that I can weed through these 15,000 people that come to a trade show and get my couple hundred people that are my avatar that really want to dial it in and are serious about hunting, and like the guys that I end up talking to the whole time anyway. So, and then I'll do it on my own terms, and I'll bounce around the country, and I'll, kind of gather up like a freaking group of hardcore guys with the results to back. It's another thing, man. So many people, man, are experts, but like nobody dives in a level deeper to see if they're actually,
they killing shit.
Yeah, are they doing it, man? Are they in? And it's like, and then you got guys who, I don't know. It's just one of those things where I was very, very stringent on that. Like, I wanted a good team of guys. I wanted to bounce around and get to the area, especially because, like, we don't sell stuff in stores. And you'd be surprised, man, over the years, like, talking to guys, even really good hunters and guys who've been running gear for a long time, like, they might not know a lot of stuff about hanging or this or that. And it's cool because we get a demographic of new hunters and veteran hunters because, like, you can always learn something from the cats that we got there. Like, that's my favorite part is, like, I like listening to what all these dudes come up with every year. And, and I try and change the speakers, change the locations, and, and even attendees. Like, dude, I love it when an attendee comes with their setup and brings it, and it's decked out in a way that I haven't seen. But yeah, that was a long way around, but that's why I changed the name. I wanted it to, I've been doing the dying breed bow hunter thing now, and I'm pretty passionate about that. And it's over the last couple of years, it's like, at first it was just like, oh, that's a sick name, I'll roll with that. And I liked what it stood for. And now, as we increasingly become further and further away from what I actually think is hunting, I think it's a more important brand than ever before. And not to get too like mission driven with this, but like, I always thought I was born in the wrong time, and now I'm like, I think I was born in the exact right time, and it's to fucking keep the shit burning, keep the old flame burning, because it's just getting so. And I look at the Roadshow as a pillar of that. Like, a newcomer who wants to get into hunting can come there, learn how to read sign, learn how to hunt hills, learn how to hunt egg country, learn how to find new properties, learn how to dive into onyx, learn how to plan an out-of-state trip, learn how to set up their fucking car to camp and be sufficient. Like, dude, we like literally, I can't, like, we've dove into the weeds, man, and we gauge the audience, and it's what they want to hear. But everybody's so interested in taking the easy route out, and they turn to the technology, when most of the time they need to just turn back and just apply themselves and get consistent with applying themselves. And we're like I think we're a good foothold there, or a, whatever you want to call it. So I wanted to change the logo, change the brand, have it more so kind of merge with the Dying Breed Bow Hunter brand, also get away from mobile hunter, and we're whitetail based anyway. Right. Yeah, so like you can mobile hunt all you want, but like, we are whitetails. This is what we do, and we do it the best. So it's like and I didn't want to drop Roadshow because that's what it's always been, man. It's been an antique roadshow of the whitetails.
Yeah. Well, when we saw it, I was like, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I thought so too. I mean, honestly, when we were talking about it, because I mean, we are mobile guys by heart, but like, obviously with the Patriot series, like, we just hang. Yeah. We're hanging stands that are going to be there all year. Yeah. Right. So, I mean, it is still mobile to a sense, but like, it's strategically, like, more and more of us that have definitive properties we're going to hunt, we're going to hang them in the best spots, and we're going to just have those setups ready to go.
Yep. And I think it was one of those things too, where like, I've seen it happen over the years, but like, okay, that came into play. More lighter stuff was coming on. All of a sudden, mobile hunting became a catchy phrase, and like the saddle community linked to it. And then like, all of a sudden, everything is just mobile hunting. And like, a couple of the dudes close on the team were like, no, we can't abandon it. Everything's mobile hunting. It's got the search. I'm like, yeah, I don't give a shit. I don't want to be in a fucking sea of average fish. Like that. That's not where I want to be. I want to be the big fish. I want to separate ourselves. I don't want any more brand confusion. It hurt my heart that people were going to these events and thinking I was going to be there and not there, and I just felt so bad. I'm like, okay,
yeah, no, that sucks.
I'm like, no more. So now, hopefully, it'll be more separated. We'll do a better job. And that's the thing, man. I'm not the marketer, and I'm not the final end. I got the product, I got the juice, but then like, somebody comes in, same name, and hits the marketing 10 times harder. It's like, well, shit. Now it's like, so two things happen. Either they go to that, or they go to that event, have no recollection that there's two events, have a subpar time. It's just a random trade show. Mm-hmm. The next time they see my show, they're like, oh, well, I went to that. I went to that in Georgia. It sucked.
Yeah.
Or they think that show's my show. They're upset they didn't see me, or then they're not pumped because it was just a fucking trade show.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like what we were saying it was. So I'm like, no, can't have that happen. So now hopefully there'll be more of a distinct.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much it.
I think it also sets like it's a nice step back from like some people might look at it and say, well, it got to the point of be like mobile for the sake of mobile.
Yeah, 100%. And that's a really killer thing.
And you said that earlier. I think it's just all about like how good of a mobile hunter are. It's like, well, hey, that is valuable, but like we're all deer hunters.
Well, exactly. And whitetail focused, and that's what jacks me up about some of these like this event in particular. Like, dude, I think we're gonna get deep into optimizing a piece of land. And I think with the boom in this, it became cool, right? So people started to be on the cool bus. And I've said it a lot of times. It's like, it's the old average saying, work smarter, not harder, right? Like if there's no sense in making it more difficult than it is, and if you have a spot that can benefit from a permit setup, like why wouldn't you hang it? Just hang it.
Right.
It's a good spot. If it's always going to be a good spot, if you're hunting a piece of public and you can't leave the stuff, that's a totally different story. But like,
but still, you go in and hang it whatever the week or two the season starts, and like leave it up there all season, pull it down at the end. Like it doesn't have to be, especially from a stealthiness. Like we just talked about it when you're hanging low. It's like, dude, I want to get in as quickly, as quietly, as cleanly as possible and be in that stand and ready to roll. And then the same on an exit. When you have to break things up and down, like that takes time. It makes noise. It leaves scent. Like there's a lot to it.
Any of us would admit that. It's like, hey, where's mobile is the next guy. But it's like if I can go in and you have a choice, it's like, hey, pre-hung set.
And here's the thing. Like for years, I would have pre-hung sets, or let's say I would go to a new property. For instance, I'd go to Kansas. I can think of like an out-of-state trip, but this was my process for an out-of-state trip. I would bring 4 to 5 stands, and I would scout with a stand on my back, hang it in the first hot spot I found, leave it as a permanent set, scout the next spot, and then before I knew it, I had 4 permanent sets with 1 mobile set, and I would hunt those if I had the winds.
Absolutely.
And then I would use the mobile if I needed to, and then I would shift those as the wind. Like that's about as efficient as you can. Yeah, I know you need 5 stands, but like, dude, you want to talk about fucking stealth? Like you're doing your work actively, and that's the great thing about even like the Patriot. It can be a permanent stand, but it's nothing to pull it down and slide it over 20 yards.
I mean, dude, that's what we talked about before. It's like we were thinking we were mobile carrying 20 and 30-pound climbers around. Like that Patriot doesn't weigh that much to be mobile and to take it around if you need to be.
And I think a huge takeaway too is like that's one side of the coin, but also it's nice. Some people get into that like you have to be one or the other, and I'm like, no, you don't. Like you don't. Like, and so many people have their permanent sets, and like they watch great shit happen, and they don't move them, or they don't have a mobile set that they can grab, and at least like some guys are hunting out of old like ladders that are locked. Like there ain't moving those things. Yeah. And if you wanted to move them, it'd be a major project.
There's a place for those too.
100%. But that's where you just need a flyer mobile setup in your truck to where like if you know you need to move, well then get mobile on them. And if you want to talk about mobile hunting, like if we really want to define it, bouncing around from permanent stands is as mobile as you could fucking get.
Absolutely.
Because you're literally you know what I'm saying? So it's just freaking semantics, really.
Well, I mean the first year that we worked with you guys, I think 2 years ago when we went to Kansas, Jared and I each had 2 custom gear setups. And what would happen is we would take those in, we'd hang that one set for like a morning set, and then we'd leave it. Yep. And then we'd have the other one on our back to be able to be mobile or to change it up for an evening. And then we could rotate. We could yank one down and always have one up.
And all you're doing is being more efficient by not having to fumble in the morning. You get in cleaner, you get in 100%.
Dude, there's nobody but anytime somebody's like, well, I can get, I'm like, yeah, but don't you just climb up in because it's already in there? And they're like, well, I mean, but I'm still, I'm like, no, dude, I'm in there really fast.
The only time I wouldn't do that, and like, so that's my process too, is I am looking for a morning spot, and then I'm looking for the evening spot, and the only time I wouldn't set that up to come back to it is if that was the only stand I had.
Oh, absolutely.
Like 100, because then you don't you just never know if you got to do something on the fly. But that's why it's a good system to have 2 setups.
Oh, it's killer.
Let me ask you this: on your dad's farm, on the DeQuisto farm, does your dad's not like hanging a set every time he goes out? So you guys have pre-hung sets, right? There's so many pre-hung sets on that farm. There's so but to tell you
to give you a reference though too, this is going to sound whack, maybe a little out of the ordinary, but in the last 2 years hunting that farm, I've probably sat in a pre-hung set twice, maybe. And it's just because like.
What about your dad though?
Oh yeah, no, he uses them a lot.
He does?
Yeah. So, and I had like, so for instance, like there's 20 sets that I've hung on there that I've just literally left.
Yep.
I've just, and there's 50, he's probably got 50, you know, there's tons of stands.
Yeah.
But even him though, he hunts them, but he's always setting up new shit. It's just a matter of like being lazy to pull down the old one and move it. It's like, oh, well, that spot could be good again.
Could be good.
But if that spot lights up, like I'll also say this, like I'm not that stupid. If I'm walking through and scouting and there's a hot stand I can hop in, I'll hop in it.
Yeah,
like, why the fuck wouldn't I? You know, it just so happens that like lately, like we've talked about, I'm on the outskirts of the farm more. I'm hunting like fringe properties, like so there's less permanent stuff. So I'm like very seldomly like in the shit.
Well, that matters. I mean, the type of property that you're on. So like I ask about the home farm. So guys that are like hunting a piece of private that they have access. Obviously, my farm's the same way. I've got friggin' 30, 40 stands littered all over that thing. Yep. And our guys, my dad, my uncle, those are the only stands they hunt.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm like 50-50. I use the mobile because, and even more so on other farms, but on that farm specifically, it's like I'm looking for, I'm watching a specific buck, the right spot, I'm reading a sign, and I'm going to be mobile to find a new. I'm mining for a new spot if I have to.
Well, I mean, dude, you would say, at least in my opinion, is like I have those same things, but when I'm mobile, I'm more aggressive. Right, like so I may not
get complacent.
Yeah, I might not have a permanent set like in the wheelhouse, right? But when the conditions are right and that buck like that I'm hunting is moving through there, I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna hang and I'm gonna kill him in that first sit. Yep. So I think that's what mobile has really taught us is like we've always had permanent sets in good spots, right? And we see deer. But that's different than being in the X when the time is right. And, I don't necessarily know if I want a permanent set in that spot. I want to go in there, set it, and the first time he encounters anything in there is the time I'm setting an arrow through him.
Yep, that was one thing I was going to add about the being a little bit more mobile and more aggressive is that you do always have more of an element of surprise. Now, if you are dialed and you take your time to really set up these spots good, and you're a good hunter and stealthy while hunting those, you can still have that element of surprise. I mean, the whole objective is that they don't know a stand is there, right? So you could argue you're getting the same thing, but for spots that maybe like are beat down, you're getting busted out of them, like, then, deer will start to like tend to...
Yeah, they're going to start skirting that stuff.
So like that's where having the element of surprise. And one cool thing is like when I work into a property is what I do like to do is like, I just like to tell myself, like, okay, like, there's no way a deer will pattern me. And that right there is a powerful tool. Like
because you're so mobile?
Exactly. So, like, for instance, like, and now that may mean, like, even if that meant hopping in a pre-hung set, but, like, I've seen so many people go through seasons and eat their tag because they're, like, so complacent and their mind is so in that permanent set over a past situation or because they're lazy. Those are the two things. If you can parse those out, if you're not a lazy guy and you're hunting a permanent set, it's different if you're a lazy guy and you're just going to a permanent set because you don't want to hang a new set. But if you're hunting a permanent set for efficiency, that's a whole different story.
Right.
Like the sign's there, it's happening there. You got the element of surprise there. The time is right. Boom. Why not have a permanent set? Yeah. The guy who sees that and goes and hangs a stand right next to it,
why?
You're literally just... You're literally just laying more scent. You're fucking the place up more, like when you could just hunt it there. So
yeah. I mean, I think those permanent sets, they just and we maybe even disagree a little bit on some of this. Is like I'm a first sit, kill them, and you feel confident. Like I feel less confident the more I sit a spot. I would say you feel
more confident.
More confident.
Depends.
Because it hasn't happened yet. It's like if it hasn't happened, it's going to happen sooner.
Well, it depends on the time frame. I think, in certain phases of the rut, that is true.
Like you're almost sitting them out, like you're waiting them out.
Yeah.
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 Well, yeah, literally. That's what
And
you're doing. I mean, dude, that's
yeah.
your Joe Miles will tell you that. You know, it's like, dude, if you find the right spot and you wait there long enough, he's going to come through there. It's timing based and it's topography based.
And maybe I'm just too impatient for that. But like after sit one, I feel myself sliding.
See, I'm with you there. This is my take on that because I have buddies, and that is a very, very good tactic. We've talked about that in the Roadshow. And you can do that. It's like impossible for me to do that. And it just like the calling thing in my mind, I weigh it like this. Okay. If I wait here for a week and I don't hit it right and I don't see him, I just burnt a week. But if I go out there and actively like search,
pursue him.
Yeah, actively pursue, actively pop around. Now you can also shoot yourself in the foot by doing that.
Definitely.
But you can also at that time of year run into something even bigger.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, do I get out there, get in the game? And I think a lot of that's just like me.
It is mental.
It's mental because I can't, like, I'm just like, oh my God, I feel like I'm letting the season pass me by. But I know people who do it and shoot giants every year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. So like a situation, 9 times out of 10, it's a cruising type situation.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And you may go in there and he may have a doe locked down, you know, like 250 yards in this ditch over here. And so you hunt
doesn't mean you're in the wrong spot.
You hunt it the first night and it's like, oh, everything's great. And then you're like, I don't know.
Didn't show.
The situation was right, everything, but he doesn't. He's bedded with a doe.
Yeah, he
you know
doesn't
what I mean?
know,
He just started, and so 2 days later, he's going to get up at like 11:30 in the morning and freaking come and do the loop, and he has to come right through there. And you moved on 2 days ago.
Yep. 100. Yeah.
So you have to have confidence in the spot. I mean, that's
yeah, for sure. And I don't think I ever like. But even still, like, there's no way of knowing 100% sure he's going to come through. Like, he could bust off the other way.
Well, it depends on the spot.
Yeah, I guess.
That's the difference right there.
If you had a spot that,
I think you have a lot of confidence in when you've picked the spot and the conditions
well,
are
here's
right.
The thing, though. But couldn't he?
Oh, dude,
couldn't he bust off and come through? Like, let's say he has to come through. You still can't narrow him down to come through in daylight shooting hours.
If you sit there long enough, you can.
Yeah, that's the difference.
Well, no, I mean, but can you though? What if he comes through the one time and it's at 9 p.m.?
Well, he's not.
You're screwed.
It's also weird. It's
weird. Then he doesn't live there. You know what I mean? You're in the wrong spot.
It's a weird mental morale point too, right? Because like, so let's say first night happens, I don't see him. I move on to a new one. I'm now at another emotional high because I'm in a new spot. Anything can happen, right?
Yeah.
Jared just looks at it as another day checked off the box. Okay.
Yep.
He didn't make a mistake this day. He might make one today.
I will say this,
and I don't think either one's wrong, right?
Yeah. Oh, they're just tactics. Yeah, 100%.
Just complete tactics.
Well, and it is specific to that time of year. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Move it outside of that.
Absolutely.
I mean, dude, you hunt a spot one time in October. I mean, dude, they know you were there.
Oh yeah,
and it's like you might have screwed it up. Yeah. So then I'm like, hey,
you better made the move to make
better move on.
Yeah, and at that time of year, like you're banking on the road activity that you know is happening. It's like, so for instance,
yes,
at a roadshow a couple years ago, and I just seen this dude in PA, and I don't remember his name. I'm bad with names, but I remember because I love that. That's my favorite part is when people come up and they got their phone handy and they're about to show me what they killed based off of what they learned, and I'm just like, all right, show me what's, because I seen him. We locked eyes, and I was like, and he was like, I'm not sure if you remember, and I was like, I remember your face. I'm like, he's like, I was at a roadshow a couple years ago. I was like, what'd you kill? Like, and he's like, man, and we got to talking about, he was drawing points for Iowa, and we got to talking about the harder places to hunt in Iowa and like the ridgy spots and stuff like that. And I'm like, and I remember telling him, giving him some information, giving him even pins and like ridge sides and just I'm like, dude, I could never do it. I was like, but if a guy could sit here for a week, you'd probably kill a giant. Well, he took that. He took that.
That was Bible to him.
He literally took that, ran with it. He went to the area. First day in, he seen like a 150, like not there, but like he was like, oh, dude, this is gonna be. A lot of people go to Iowa and hit it right. You guys fucking hit it like money. But he gets to Iowa first day, he sees a 150, and he's like, oh my God, this is gonna be awesome. He gets on this ridge side. Hunted there for 9 days, didn't see a single buck.
Oh.
And then on day 10 of his 11-day trip, he shoots like a 183-inch fucking Magnum on that ridge, just waiting. And it was like, and then the next day, he put his buddy on that ridge for the last day of the hunt, and he killed like a 165.
Oh.
The same ridge. It just goes to show, dude, they're running so much ground.
Yeah.
And it's like they will be through there at some point in time. Like they will come through.
Mm-hmm.
If I mean, now I couldn't, like that buck could have ran through at midnight and then been off, locked on a doe for another 3 days. So it's like, if you can time it right, if you're in there for long enough and you can time it right, like, dude, you're going to get a crack. Whether you capitalize on that crack, like, I don't know, man. So like 100%, dude, it's a tactic. And I was like, oh my God. And I'm thinking about it and I'm like, oh, dude, I could never sit there.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
I could
like,
never sit
I'm
there
thinking
for 9 days and not see anything, but it could be discipline right there too, you know?
Yeah. And I am okay with admitting like I don't have that. Right. Dude, by 10 o'clock in the morning during the rut, I'm like, I need to like move at this point. Like,
well, I do move. I'm just trying to.
No, we're like, they need to move. Like,
I mean, it's not like that's my go-to strategy. I'm trying to think of how many I've killed that way. It's only.
Well, that's where I think, like you said, if you have that spot,
there's been sparks.
The Kansas one stands out to me.
That's what I was thinking. I don't know. We don't have Pretty Boy Shed here, but like,
that was one too.
When you encountered deer,
I knew that spot was money.
When you encountered that deer, knew that he was in there, you sat that spot out, and even after you skim one off his back.
So much confidence in that spot. I was like, he's coming through at some point,
and he did.
I just didn't expect it to happen at 1:15.
Yeah.
When I was on the phone with my wife.
Yeah. But you continued to sit that spot. Yeah. After that,
I had another mature buck come through there too.
Just
do you think you being so confident in that and thinking it had anything to do with him coming through it? Or are you not that?
It definitely had everything to do with me staying there.
Yeah, I mean, because that's the willpower, right? I mean, most people, like that guy sitting, a Grady Sawbuck, and then all of a sudden sitting 9 days, not seeing a buck, dude. And if I'm coming from out of state to burn my Iowa points with 2 days left on the clock,
I know, dude.
That dude's got balls of steel, 100%, man.
Big ones, and it's like, but it's the same thing, though. I got buddies too that'll, and I think this is probably the best strategy. They hunt pretty aggressive. They pop around all early season. That second week of rut, they have a spot on a farm that has such a killer pinch that they just designate 1 week of the year to camp out. And it's like, they never kill anything early. They always end up, it's just crazy. So I guess if you have that good of a spot, I don't know. I mean, you know what I mean?
I'll tell you what. I
think two mountains are pinching together. You got a 20-yard freaking pinch. And
they have to come through that gap if they're going to do it.
I think almost every farm has some spots like
that. They do.
I will tell you, the only doubt that I have when I'm hunting a spot like that is if there's spots of the farm that I haven't seen. Because if I've seen everything, then I'm like, I feel I can be, this is it. This is the spot. But if I don't know, if I haven't been over that, then I'm like, maybe after I get down this morning, I need to go check that out.
It is definitely a time.
That's how you find the spots.
It's definitely a time of year thing. Like if we talk about opening day through, even right before Halloween, right? Like to me, I might not even be in a tree most of those days. I'm just waiting for the right day, right? And it's all calculated. I'm thinking about which deer or which area I'm going to go into, and then when the front blows through and the wind is right, I'm going to go in there. And I mean, I've killed a lot of deer on those types of sits where I sat on the bench for 3 weeks in October. Yeah. Everybody else is hunting, and I'm like, no, not time. And it takes restriction in yourself to do that. And then all of a sudden, weather front blows through. You know that they're going to come crushing scrapes. You know where you need to be. You sit in the stand. I think I've killed 4 or 5 mature bucks that way. And first sit. And
that's a super valuable point. And I think a lot of people screw up their ultimate chance because they're just hunting to hunt.
Well, they want to hunt. I don't blame them.
And that's where I think, though, you have to be able to identify that and split it up. You got to go hunt a different spot, a different deer, a different herd. Yeah. Don't badger that until it's ready. Like strike when the iron's hot with that one. But these guys, they're so hell bent that they flirt the fringes, and then they instead.
Yeah, I mean, how many guys sit out on the weekends when they're off work and it's finally October? Most go and sit a stand. Yeah. And I don't blame them on that, but if you're calculated, especially if you're going after a specific deer, that's when you have to be way more restrictive of yourself not to go out and sit.
Yeah, and you have the information, you got to use that and not push the envelope before it's ready. And even even honestly, if you go scout, just go walk a different
that's what I did. I scouted my balls off.
Yeah, you could be applying yourself and making advancements, but just not.
I was just out in the woods all the time. Just scout. Never sat a tree until You know, like I think I killed him October 23rd. I killed that other one like October 25th. Yeah, I just scouted my balls off around the area.
Yep.
But then when that weather front came in, I knew which deer I wanted to go kill, and I just went in there and dive bombed them.
Yeah.
HUNTR Podcast is brought to you by Bushnell.
Man, what an iconic brand. I mean, I vividly remember growing up, it seemed like every serious deer hunter had a Bushnell pair of binoculars or Bushnell rifle scope. You knew that those guys were serious about what they were about to go with if they were packing the Bushnell stuff.
No doubt, man. I remember Bone Collector guys and so many others that we've respected over the years. It's always been like your grandpa's rifle scope. And since then, obviously, they've developed so many great products. We're rocking the R series of binoculars this year. I believe it's the R5, 10x42s. Those have been awesome. We took those to TAC a couple weeks ago, along with the Broadhead rangefinder. That's got a ton of technology packed into it for angles and and for bow hunters ultimately. So that's been awesome.
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest things, we've talked about this with a lot of the brands we're working for, is we want high quality gear that's affordable, and that's exactly what Bushnell's trying to position here. They want to make really good gear that anyone that's serious about deer hunting can afford. And so most of those R5 series binos that we're talking about are under $300 for unbelievable glass.
No doubt. And so for right now, you can use code HUNTR, HUNTR, to get a discount on the Bushnell website. That's bushnell.com. I do think, and this has a lot to do with property management. Like, as we do more and more of that, I really do think that you can design spots that can be hunted.
Oh, I agree.
A lot.
Because of the
100%.
access.
You're talking about like land manipulation, or
I'm talking about designing farms, and pulling them to the fringe. So
100%.
Like, I mean, dude, a big
by like planting food and stuff. You mean like
yeah.
Planting food, making cuts, putting warm season grasses in.
I mean, dude, you can create spots. You're meeting them right at the line. Where it's like, use the analogy of like blue and red paint. The I don't know which one is which, but like the red paint is whatever.
Blue paint is safe. Red paint is theirs.
Blue paint's where they expect you to be. It's roads. It's easements. It's yards. It's whatever. Red is deer space. And as long as you stay in the blue, I mean, it's like they expect you to be. They'll cross it and stuff. They're like, I smell human here. They're like, it's fine. It's all good. Yep. The minute you walk into the timber or something that's deer space, they're like, whoa, flags are up. That's not good.
It's the same smell they're used to, but it's just
not supposed to be there.
Yeah, now it's
so a property design is about pulling them out of like their deer space to a purple medium, and these spots can be accessed and hunted on the right winds and stuff. And if done correctly, you can hunt them every day, consistently. I'm not saying you can hunt every stand every day, but like, done correctly.
And access properly. Because I've had harm.
That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, farms will literally get blown out in a week if you aren't accessing them right, like 100%, especially with heavy deer populations.
I will tell you, dude, based on that strategy there, like, I think we've had an interesting, like, I did anyways. You probably did too. I came from like the Bill Winke mentality of like, it was like, hey, just hunt the fringes. And whether it's what Bill actually meant or just the way I interpreted it, I was like, okay, so just never go in. Just, I'm always on the way perimeter, like almost observation sits, and I was I was never in the game.
Yeah.
And eventually I was like, years would go by and I wouldn't kill deer. And I'm like, I'm missing it, And then I would go more like Ben Rising mentality, where it's like X marks the spot, dive right into the middle one time and kill the thing, Yeah. But then I started, and I did that a few times. We both did, I think. And then I was like, I think I caused some damage to I think I, maybe.
It's inevitable that you cause damage, even if you are successful in that. Like,
right.
You're also educating next year's target.
I think I also caused some trauma when I was in there doing it. And I was like, and again, these are properties that we own. So it's not like,
you're thinking
we have the ability. I'm thinking long term.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, if I can do, and this is kind of what I was trying to get to you earlier. I was like, if I can do that, and I'm like, and I can pull out and I can have less of a negative impact. I can do it out here on my own terms and hunt more often. Then why wouldn't we do? So I went in and we did the thing, and now we're starting to pull it back out.
Yep. I get that. And that's right there. That's like you said, 100%. It's thinking long term. Like that right there is being very mindful, being very cautious of what you're trying to build 5-10 years down the road. You know?
Well, I mean, dude, that's how long it takes to grow a 5-year-old buck, right?
100%, yeah. And like, yeah. So that makes perfect sense. I can honestly say I've always been very pessimistic about that. I feel like no matter how much ground you have, and this is not true. I just I got into this this space, but no matter how much ground you have, no matter how much you let them go and how much work you put into them, they're gonna die. You might.
It's true.
I mean,
they do, yeah.
And more times they die not by your arrow.
Absolutely.
And I just I think I got real bummed out a long time ago because I would be that guy who would try and go do a little kill plot or try and work and I've never worked it at worked land to your guys' capacity, but I just then I don't know, I got real pessimistic and I just assumed everything was dead the next year. So okay, how would I hunt this farm if I didn't care about the future of it? And I mean, if you want to actually put down the most aggressive numbers, like you said, X marks the spot, you went in and killed, but there was some negative side effect, and I will confirm that it's a better way to kill, and maybe even consistently kill. But I will say the farms that I do that on, the deer get cagier, the deer learn more.
Yeah. You see that,
and you're only making it harder for yourself. But it's a trade-off. You got to pick what you want to do and how you want to hunt it because. And you have to have people on the same page because if you're doing that, but you got fucking Bill who's hunting the property too 100%. And he doesn't give a shit, well, then you're just pissing on a forest fire.
Well, and dude, even we're going to go to Kansas this year and, we're working with an outfitter out there that's going to help us, get access to some properties and stuff. And so I'm not worried about tiptoeing around the edges and pulling the deer out. It's hey, I got 10 days to go to the core and kill the thing.
Yep. It's a different
And I have that in my tool belt. We can do that. Yeah. And I like doing that a lot. But on our farms, I'm hey, maybe we need to, be a lot more careful.
And that's what you have to do to grow big deer and not. Yeah, it's 100%, man.
It is fun though. I will say there's something rewarding that comes with making them do the thing. It's hey, I've come to terms with the fact that I can kill them.
You've
yeah, right.
I mean,
it's the ultimate control.
Well, yeah, you've literally manipulated them. God. I mean, you get them to do the thing. You're I used the thing that I planned, and they came out and they did it. Then there is something to it. It is definitely there's all these little things, right? For instance, if you there's something to making. I mean, what is a really long shot with a rifle? What is that?
Today, 1,000 yards.
Okay, dude, there's something to that. That's hard.
Yeah.
Right? And that means dude, I could never make that. And you practice for that and you train for that. There's something to that. It's a feat. And there's also something to, you said, there's some cagey shit that people do that is really outside the box thinking that you're damn, that is fucking smart. And if it really came down to having to kill for necessity, would you be above it? Because it's a way to get it done. It's a means to the end, and shit's smart. So I could see that. It's one thing reading a piece of ground, that can be a far shot can be a reward. Reading a piece of ground can be a reward. Manipulating a piece of ground can be a reward. Dude, I think it's fucking endless, man. But that right there is in your mind, you're thinking of what you want these deer to do.
Yeah.
Okay. And now what can I do? How can I change this land to make them do exactly what I want them to do? Dude, there's something to that, man.
And it plays in. It's cool because it ties into the mobile versus, whatever you call it, a long-term fixed position type of a mentality. Because dude, I have a spot in mind that Jeremy and I just hung one of those alphas in last week. It started with a mobile setup. The first time I hunted that tree was with a mobile.
That's how you found it.
Setup. That's how I found it. And there was a few surrounding spots, and we're I think they're doing that. Maybe maybe I have this one today. I'll go try this. So finally, I landed on that tree, and I was this is right. And we continued to observe it with cameras and stuff like that, and then it solidified what I saw that day and what we thought, and then so we kind of committed to it. So we went in and changed some things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There was a fence that had been pulled up by a prior leaser, tied up with shoelace. And we're I don't want them crossing here. That's not good. We felled trees right there. And the other terrain,
it was clearly the main trail.
Yeah, push them down to a lower spot here. There's also a corn right here. It's like we can mow corn right here and put food in it. I can put a scrape in here. And so, I understand there's guys who are like, hey, it's too much. It's too much. I don't want to do all that.
Yeah.
I will tell you, we're going to kill a deer out of that spot. I mean, they're going to come. That's one of those spots where you sit there, they're coming through.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, like I said, man, it's got to do with your goals and the work you want to put in, and because that's a whole different type of work.
Yeah,
like that's not my type of work. My type of work is just pounding the ground. Like that right there is a lot more hours.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot more hours. It's a lot more hours. Even like food plots and stuff. Like, dude, I don't think a lot of people realize the work that goes into these farms and the food plots.
I know.
And the trimming of stands, and like it ain't like, I don't know. People make
been
it
doing
seem
it since last year.
Well, people make it seem like it's nothing sometimes, and it's a whole different route to take on it. But it's definitely not a lot of, it's definitely a lot of work.
Well, and for a lot of people too, it's that I'd say most of us as hunters we're looking to kill mature deer. We want to kill big deer. Like that.
Yeah.
There's not a guy that sits in the woods who's not dreaming about a big buck coming over the ridge, and without some of that manipulation, like, the odds of producing those deer in the area don't exist.
You could sit and pray, or you could put in work and fucking make a piece of property.
And even that, it's not guaranteed, right? Because like you said,
100%.
deer just die.
Yeah.
They
And
still die.
even like our farm, like, and mind you, we're not like, the old man, like you've talked to him and stuff, he's not on the keen edge of management and growing deer, but like you would think, with a relatively unaltered piece of property, good food, good area, like you would think that just organically you'd be growing freaking megas every year. And it's just not the case. Like, and whether that's our managing our processes or whatever that are like skewed, but like, I don't know, man. Like, wouldn't you think like in that area you'd have 190-inch deer every year? But it's just not the case, man. We're on like a 4-year freaking loop. Like, we might get a giant every, maybe. So it's like, I don't know. Like,
and you're talking Iowa, which is the most restrictive whitetail state in the country.
I know. And it's like,
I don't know, man. After I've seen what we can do, like with our Illinois farm, which is a small scale, it's 150 acres,
Yep.
I mean, it's improved dramatically with some of the things in 3 years. This will be our 3rd season on it. I'm like, every year it's been incremental.
And again, I mean,
it takes time. It's
five to 6 years to grow a 5-year-old buck, right? So like, just the deer that when we bought that farm, will be turning essentially 3 this year.
Yeah.
So it's like, think about that side of it.
And to get into the really the weeds and the brass tacks of it is like, most people don't have what it takes to not shoot those good deer, to get a great deer.
No,
check it out. That one right there.
Oh,
that's Illinois. That's iPad. That's
that's that one you sent. Don't
get me wrong. That's that 8.
Or that 8. Sorry, 8.
Yeah, 4-year-old.
He showed up 2 days ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So he's probably like 142 last year. Probably 150 this year. 5-year-old.
Yeah. No,
on the list.
Could be a 181 next year.
I mean, dude, even that is a deer. And I'm not like patting myself on the back, but most people will not pass that deer.
I remember, dude, I went to a camp in Kansas, and everybody talked about how they were after big deer, and they were managing all this property, and I was super pumped to be involved. I was like, I traded some stands to get in there with them, and I'm like, oh, dude, this is gonna be great. And everybody's like, yeah, it's like 180 or bust, and I'm like, oh, dude, I found a home,
Yeah.
I get down there the first day, I go pound the shit out of the ground and come, and everybody's like, we're at camp in this rented house, and we're all filming. Everybody's watching their film on TV. I get back late, pull out my tape, the little DV tape, those when they're actually tapes, put it in there, and I had like it looked just like that, clean, slick, like 145/8, freaking right under my tree, fucking just pawing at acorns and shit, and everybody's like, what the fuck? Where was that? Like, where were you? You didn't shoot that? And I'm like, I thought we were looking for giants, dude. Like they're like, you're crazy. I'm like, oh my God, I got duped, man. This is not like, and it's just like, realistically, most people like that ain't gonna happen.
It ain't passing it.
They're like, what was wrong? Why didn't you shoot it? I was like, I don't know. I got like a lot of deer that are bigger than that. I just don't want to shoot that. Like, and I said, gave him the pin and was off. I just literally left. I never went back. I was
well,
just
and dude,
like,
that's
this is fucking.
that's
this is not
that.
my
A part
plan.
of that is the problem we talked about earlier with the technology side. Is it's made killing good deer, not great deer, but good deer, way easier than it's ever been.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So a lot of these deer that are in that 140, 150 class, even into the 160s, that have potential to be super deer, they're getting killed because it's easier to do it.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not saying that people shouldn't kill them. Like if it makes them happy
Yeah,
and they're
yeah, that's
excited
different.
about it, like awesome. But
It's just happening. The success rate is higher.
and I think that's why we've had this debate, and a lot of the old timers, your dad was even one of them, who said it was like, man, I remember, you know, maybe we didn't see a ton of them, but there were definitely seemed like there were more super giants running around back in the day. Now the middle ground was maybe empty, right? Because it was like people were killing them young. They weren't making it here, but the few that made it through
were getting old.
And being giants. Now it's like, dude, we're so effective at killing these deer that like you just don't have that many squeaking through. And the ones that squeak through are shit. They're like 6 points and 8 points that score 125, and people are killing 150-inch 3-year-olds instead. And like, I don't blame them because they're like big buck, right?
Yeah.
But that being, and we talk about like the good and bad of cameras. The ability to be selective has absolutely disrupted the production of giants.
Yeah, I would agree. It's the meddling, man. It's good, but I think it really comes down to, you got to ask yourself, like, what do you really want? I think most people out there don't even know what they want.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, if you are truly after big deer, then like those are the things you have to do. You have to sacrifice shooting the okay deer. You got to do some. You got to keep tabs. You have to be selective, because like we've talked about this. Like the route that I've taken, I could end up shooting 170-inch deer when there's a 220 on the same property, and I just wouldn't know it. If I ran into that 170 first, he'd get an arrow, and that would really suck. You know, I mean, but so it's like you really got to ask yourself, man, because. And I mean, like that goes to like long term of property too, and like thinking about that and thinking about a healthy age structure and letting those deer grow and not killing them. It's like, and you never know what they can do, man. Like I've seen deer go from 150 to 180 in a year, like at that right time. And I 100% wholeheartedly believe that is due to the health of the deer, whether they're fighting off any illness inside, and pressure.
Yeah.
And that comes down to your red and blue areas. Like, dude, if you have a buck, and that's what I hate about these guys, they do way too aggressive summer scouting. They're just badgering these deer all summer. They're hanging cameras right in their bedroom. They're scouting in there. They're bumping them out of there. I guarantee you that stress affects their rack growth like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, I'm sure it does.
I think it's exactly like cortisol affects a bodybuilder. Dude, if you're a fucking bummed out piece of shit, or you're constantly stressed, or your wife is nagging you every day, you think you're gonna make gains? No, I'm telling you, it's gonna be way harder. It's just that's how I look at it, and I feel like the more you can leave them alone, but people badger these areas, they get these deer stressed. So stress, I think, is a huge factor, and then I think obviously health.
Do you think that stresses them out that much?
Like
in the summer, do you think they're just like, freaking, this guy's in here all the time. It's annoying.
I think it's a little bit of both. I think some, like I've hunted properties that I've got there opening day and were like ghost towns because the deer just didn't put up with it anymore. There was literally established 4-wheeler trails through areas that they shouldn't have been to check cameras. And if there's established trails, that like it tells me that people were there like every weekend.
All the time.
And great bedding areas that just weren't even inhabited by any deer. It took till last week of October for deer to even get pushed back in, and they started working scrape lines and stuff. Versus like, you let a deer have that area, and only start pressuring them when it counts, or like being more stepped back, or like
that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, or like employing some little rule of thumb things like, hey, dude, we're not gonna go fuck around here in the summer and hinge cut trees and shit, and like, or you have your time for that, but like when you're going out. When I'm talking hinge cut trees, I mean clearing stands.
Yeah.
You got guys clearing stands every weekend.
Oh yeah.
And scouting every weekend in the summertime and checking cameras every And I feel for them because they're just gun ho and they're trying to learn and they're trying to apply themselves. But like, I think they're just pushing their deer out.
Well, there's a right way to do it and a wrong way to do it too. Like even on our farm, you'll see. I'll run you around this weekend. We're on the farm a good bit. You know what I mean? I'm up there. Yeah, once a week, at least every other week. Dad, Dad, they run the roads there and stuff. But we have an established road system. It doesn't. It doesn't go through the timber. Yep. It's on the edges. We have them in smart places. I think that 100%. It's like they get used to that over generations.
Blue
We've
zones.
been doing it since.
Or what is that? Blue.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, blue.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yep.
And so they expect us to be there. And so as long as you don't stop and shut the vehicle off.
Yep.
They could care less. Dude, I've been out there. I'll show you a big 7-acre CRP field I planted this year. And I was out there. I'm not normally in that field, but I was out there on a tractor spraying it. And I was out there on 3-4 different occasions doing the thing. And these freaking deer would just come right out of the timber.
Yeah, they don't do that.
They do not
bins,
care.
Tractors, like they don't. They're used to that, dude. There's no association with danger. Some of the most dangerous setups you can do in this ag country is a freaking blind in a grain bin.
We just built one last week.
Oh my God, dude! They're just there's no association with danger there.
The only thing better is you put it right by the house, right at the barn.
Yeah,
we did.
It's
they're
like
done.
Yeah, you get the right scenario, and like you're saying, like that's different when you got established trails and you're accessing.
Yeah, right.
I'm talking like, okay, how many times do you physically have to walk through a bedding area? Like to scout it in the summertime.
Dude, if you're on your feet, like you're causing a problem. Yeah,
I'm saying how much information can you possibly get from that in the dead of the summer?
None.
Walking through the bedding area repeatedly.
Nothing. You should be in there in February and March.
Yeah,
if any.
check it out postseason to see what happened.
That's where you're going to see the best sign anyways.
And that, you keep it in your holster, and then come season, then like when you can at least capitalize on it.
What are you even hoping to see? I mean, like, the only point of going in there would be to see topography and how it lays.
Well, I think some of it is
real thick in July too.
You see that one time. Yeah, exactly.
I feel like some of that is like they bump a deer and they're like, he's in here.
Well,
that's the mindset.
Yeah, the old bump and dump.
It's not that much different than like.
But you don't do that in the summer.
Doesn't make. That's what I'm saying.
You can't do anything about it.
Yeah, but it's not
bump and go.
Yeah. Think about summer. Like I know I was guilty of it. Like just because of the farm that we had is like I would sit at a telephone pole in a soybean field and just glass bucks like all summer, right? And it was easy in and out access. You didn't bump stuff.
Yeah.
But come opening day in October, where was I? I was on that bean field. Well, those deer weren't doing the same shit that they were doing in August, right? But it was association of like these deer always are coming in the bean field. I'm going to sit on the edge. Like they're going to come through. They've moved. And I mean, guys still have that issue where they'll have cameras right now in August that they're getting buck pictures on constantly. They're going to hang a stand right now in preparation for the season.
Next to the camera.
Yep. And then as soon as end of September, October comes, they're going to sit in that stand. Well, guess what? The entire woods behind them and the mast and the food and everything that these deer are doing has completely changed.
Yep.
So all of a sudden they're like, yeah, it's weird. I'm just not seeing deer. And I'm like, they moved.
And not only that, time of year, but year to year.
Yeah.
And week to week. Like it always changes, man. Like it
always.
And so that's what I don't.
Dry year, wet year, good mast year, not a good mast year. Did those beans turn faster this year than last year? Like those are all the things that we probably all take for granted because like our brains are just constantly processing that stuff. Like when we see it, we're just like, oh, okay. Like we were just talking. It was like 2 weeks ago, we're like, man, what an unbelievable growing season. So much rain, the heat, things. And now we're looking at 30 days of like maybe a quarter inch of rain.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's just like that. So then all of a sudden we're taking that in and we're like, okay, those water holes, the water sources are going to be critical. Like what's the mass looking like? Are the beans and corn going to turn faster? Are they going to combine earlier? Like those are the things that all of a sudden are just like processing in your head. And it's like, maybe it's not applicable opening day, but like everything you're talking about is going to come into play at some point.
Yep. I just think for me, like all the off-season scouting stuff, it's just about like familiarizing yourself with the property and just what's there to work with, and from year to year, it's like you get acquainted with a piece of property or a deer herd. And then when it comes down to like the season, when you're in the season, it's just about like, you're just vibing with the property. You're just observing like that's the actual act of hunting is you're observing from day to day,
environmental factors are changing, like the sign's starting to heat up, and it's like then the rut is starting to pick up, and you just read the thing and you do it.
Yeah, you ride the wave.
I think there's just a lot of people that are new to, whether they're new to a property or just new to hunting. Like, I mean, let's be honest, like October and November are great times to be walking through the woods and seeing sign and you know, from a scouting standpoint. Now, the damage that you're doing, you don't know. Like, if you're just blowing through a bedding area and you're like, look at all the scrapes, look at all these rubs, and like, meanwhile, you just blew out the entire bedding area. You know, if we look at it, it's like, yeah, you know, end of January, February, and March are the best times to just go through anything we want and read that sign and log those notes. But
or if you're going to scout it and you're going to do that, then be ready to do something about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, just log them. Log the notes in your head and understand what you're looking at.
Well,
you mean in season.
In season.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, you best. Well,
I'm saying if you go in there and you read something, it's not like, oh, log it away and someday we'll come back to this. It's like, hey.
Well, dude, our last conversation I thought was really good in that you were talking about when you do a lot of your in-season scouting, you're not carrying a bow and you're not hunting because you believe that you behave differently.
Yeah, I 100%. Yeah, that's something I get into quite often is like the predator mentality versus like I'm just there getting information. I'm there gathering intel, and I strike when the iron's hot. But like if I had my bow, I'd be hunting, and then I wouldn't find what I was looking for. I'd probably go slower. I'd probably it just and there's a different energy you put off too. So it's like,
well, dude, there's an advantage I think that comes with the land management aspect is that like we're in equipment a lot of the times, and we're making a ruckus. And so like, you know, one example might be, well, I'm gonna go walk into this area. I'm not gonna take my bow. I'm not threatening. I'm just gonna go check this out. That works. Obviously, you've been really successful at that. I think our version of that is I'm going to hook up the tractor and freaking brush hog. I'm going to mow a trail and make a freaking scene and dump gas, be dripping oil and stuff. And it's like, but they both seem to be kind of like a hiding in plain sight type of a mentality. We're just trying to give off the vibe of like, we're not a threat.
We're not a threat.
You know what I mean? We're here, we're doing the thing. We're going to get out and we're going to monitor those spots, and
but we'll turn it back over to you.
We found a spot. Well, we shed hunted it, the farm, for the first time this past March.
Yep.
And we walked all these spots that we hadn't been in before. There's blocks of timber we hadn't been in the first 2 years that we owned it. And so we walked in and we're like, oh, dude, this one spot, there was a lot more to it than we thought. We're like, hey, there's more terrain here. There's more, they're using this more than we thought. And we found this spot, and it's just, you could just, the way there's the bowl wraps around here, and there's two ridges that come up. To me, it's an outside field edge. And we're like, these suckers think they're sneaky here. You know what I mean? Like, it was the spot. It was almost like
big clover and alfalfa field on the other side that they're feeding in at night. And the neighbor hunts it. And so they're just hanging in our wood edge waiting for them to get in or out.
Yeah.
And then they go out.
Yeah. Not like they're avoiding our current stand locations.
No.
Like, we have some great spots, but it's just like that spot it's like a back door somehow. And I'm like, they think they're sneaky here. They think we're never gonna get them. And in a way, they're right, because there is no way to get there. It's way too thick on our stuff, but it is right along a property line. So we try to use that to our advantage, So we went with a tractor and freaking brush hogged a 200 yard, 250 yard long
plus
trail for us to use to access that. I established a blue line right there. I said, this is us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. You know what I mean?
And they'll probably start using that fucker.
They might use it, but it's going to put us right in that spot. And,
Yeah, access like that is killer. And then not only that, it's like easy and sneaky. And
had we gone in and we're like, I don't know, pruning trails and like, walking on foot and stuff, I'm like, it's just not going to work.
Well, that's the thing too. As soon as you start, you're walking with your bow, and even if you see a buck and all of a sudden you try and get a shot, well, that buck's being hunted, and it's a total different scenario versus like you see him, you go about your way. It's like when they see a coyote.
Give him a head nod and just
exactly. Like, dude, the demeanor and even if I see like an absolute hammer, like, dude, I will walk, like, and I've been with people and walking by, like, dude, you see that? I'm like, I see it. Just keep walking.
Just keep walking.
Let's fucking, like, I got a pin here.
Or you're in the truck and somebody slams on the brakes. And you're like, dude, roll.
Dust just and then he's alerted and is like, oh my God, it's like, but yeah, that's what I'm talking about, man. It's the little things like that, dude, that you get dialed, man, when you figure that stuff out, and you want the element of surprise. You don't want yeah, you don't want to change the game, before it's ready. But like when you're hunting, you should be hunting, but
Yeah.
HUNTR Podcast is brought to you by Primos.
Dude, double bull blinds, the original doe can, and who could forget the iconic Magnum buck roar?
I mean, that in a nutshell is Primos for whitetail deer hunters. I mean, that buck roar is by far the best grunt call that's ever been made. I lost it in a CRP field in Kansas, somehow found it, and for the last 10 years, I've been notching every buck that I've called in with that call, and I can tell you there's a lot of marks on it.
Been a lot of them over the years, man. I can recall. So my dad actually shot that 160-inch 8-point in Ohio a couple of years ago. It was double bull blind. I just set that up a few days before, and we've had a lot of success out of those over the years. And so right now, you can use code HUNTR, HUNTR, for a discount off anything on the Primos website. That's primos.com.
Speak the language.
Are you sticking mainly to Iowa this year? You got kind of a plan for it in your mind?
You got
your North Dakota point, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
I
cool.
got the point.
We'll make that happen someday.
Yeah. Did you guys get a tag?
No.
No.
I'm going back for a whitetail.
Oh.
So, but you don't need a point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I got, so none of that. So I'll probably do Wisconsin early. Usually I get like a Wisconsin, Illinois, and an Iowa tag, just regardless, right? Because that's like my home tri-state area. And then based off of like when I start scouting ground, like when I hit the bell, right? And in September I'll start poking around in the spots that I can hunt, and then like closer to October I'll start poking around in some perimeter farms and some other pieces. And as soon as I see something of my liking, I'll usually like start to attack that and attack my A spots first. And then I don't really make any plans beyond that until I kill something in one of those states, and then I'll start to look. And then I keep states with an over-the-counter tag in my back pocket.
Yep.
And I do want to start doing like one destination tag a year. So for instance, like had I got that North Dakota tag, that would have been cool because I would have just blocked off time, went to North Dakota. And I've never been good at that because I always get caught up in chasing something and I never leave, or I'll never. So if I block it off and it's like, oh, well, dude, you bought the tag. You got to go out there.
You got to go.
Yeah, you got to go out there for a week. It's just so hard to leave sometimes, because if I see something, I'll just get laser focused and just try and stay there.
That's the beauty of North Dakota is we go before anything else opens.
Yes, exactly. That's
so
what's
it's
so
like
awesome
there's
about
the block.
You're not gonna catch me out there like in October.
Yeah,
No.
Yeah, 100%. But that's what's cool, and that's even before like anything opens.
Anything.
Yeah. And it's nice and dude, it starts to get cool
dude,
up
some
there,
of those
man.
nights.
Now where I'm at, it's freaking.
Oh, it's hot up
And
there.
it's hot and mosquitoes and it's nasty.
Oh,
Well, it
shit.
just depends.
It's pretty wicked.
I mean, we had some warm temps.
We're
when we
hunting,
were
we're hunting
there.
river bottom country. Like
Okay.
we're running.
It does.
moose and stuff.
The mornings and the evenings are decent, but like, yeah, it gets hot in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when I was up there a few years ago, it must have been I think it was the kitty corner of the state. So up closer to the border.
Canada.
Yeah,
Okay.
up closer to the border on the east end. And like I ran into some giant elk up there. I didn't even realize there was elk. I mean, I'm talking just I got stuck in between two bulls. It was the craziest thing I've ever experienced. And everybody asks me all the time, they're like, dude, like, how come you don't elk hunt? And I'm like, dude, I'm afraid I'd like it too much.
Yeah.
I don't even want to open that door because like it could be nasty.
You think so?
I do. 100%, man. Especially after that experience, dude. I was laying on the ground and had like dude, I'm talking like 400 inch, like pushing like upper three, whatever you want to say. I don't know much about them, but like I had them freaking crushing. It was like I was in fucking Jurassic Park. And I was laying down just like, oh my God. And one is screaming over there. And I'm just envisioning I'm hunting. I'm like kind of pretending like a fucking kid. And this fucker just comes out just like 25 yards. And the thing's like the size of a truck. And I'm like, just like faking the arrow. I'm like, oh my God, dude. I was scouting for whitetail and just ran into some sign. And all of a sudden I heard a scream. And I'm like, what the hell? And, I'm like, shit, there's elk in here? Like, and I had no idea. And I was like, oh, let me just mess around. So I just kept walking, and then I busted off a herd of like cows off the top of this ridge, and it was just like an avalanche down the side of the hill. Like there were just shit crack, like when you bust a big buck out, but like times a million. And I'm like, oh my God, there's like a whole herd up here. And then that bull starts screaming, and I started working the downwind side of that to get up there, just to get eyes on him. I wanted to get some footage, and then that bull could hear me walking. And then a bull started screaming a ridge over, and I think he thought that bull was coming up on him. So then I just like got to the top and hunkered down and waited like 15 minutes, and this one kept screaming, and that sucker came up just snapping trees like as big as my fucking calves. And I was just like, oh my God, you know, and I was like, oh dude, it was so cool. But yeah, I've never been elk hunting.
Dude, the muley stuff is pretty addicting. Like it'll be cool because most of it's done before we get our whitetail fix.
Yeah.
But just like from dawn to dusk, spot and stock action.
You're just out there just running.
And like
running
it plays
around.
into the athleticism, which I think is why it'll hook you real. Because like you see them and you just go, and it's strategy and it's stalking, and then if you blow it, you just fuck it.
Yeah, you gotta
where's the
start
next?
over. Yeah.
You know, and you just keep going. Next thing you know, it's like it's getting dark, and then you do it all over again tomorrow.
Yeah, I think that would be cool. It would be a little weird not being in a tree stand, but like I think of how fun turkey hunting is now, and you're just freaking running,
just
after
running
them,
and
you know?
gunning. It's very similar.
Yeah. I don't know. I've been now that I've been going out west
a
little bit.
Just gotta try it. Just go do it,
dude. Now that I've been going out west a little bit and experience what it's like to like with no humidity and shit, and like just the mountains and stuff, I'm like, what the fuck? Where do I live? You know, if it wasn't for whitetails,
I know.
If it wasn't for whitetails, man, it'd be scary. So that's why I'm like, ooh, man.
I split time,
dude. I am the type of person though that like, dude, if I got hooked on that, you might never see me again. You'd be like, where the fuck happened to Cody?
Well,
man?
no, here's where we would see you. We were talking about it with South this morning. Is he starts his first mule deer hunt in Nevada this weekend.
Okay.
And all of his seasons are done September 30th. No more hunting after that.
Super short.
Oh, really?
There's no more western bow hunting after that.
Oh, dude. Okay.
Well, there's
we might be onto something here.
Some states have October. Well, but that's why it's attractive. That's the time to do it. Go out in September and like knock it out.
August and September, hunt. We were talking. There's some over-the-counter Utah elk areas. They open August 14th, so you could be out there August 14th through the month of August. Go hit North Dakota. Still be back with plenty of time for early season Wisconsin, Kentucky, etc.
I will tell you, and everybody's different.
I'll
be interested to see how you feel after you kill a bull one of these days. So I've killed 2 bull elk with my bow, and I've killed 1 mule deer. And I, just internal reflection, I was like, how do I feel about this? I feel pretty clearly that I prefer mule deer hunting over elk hunting.
elk hunting?
Just for me personally.
Was it like a one of those type, like the storybook elk hunts, or I mean, was it like physical? Was it like how was it?
Yeah.
Were they screaming? Like, was it the experience or what?
So the first one I was like 15 years old, so I was young, and I remember it. It wasn't a real big bull. It was like a legal 4x4.
Yeah.
Long story short, like we did a lot of hiking. We hiked all the way up there, and we'd seen him up at tree line.
Yeah,
and I had a guide with me, and he was like kind of my age, not much older than me, like a year older than me. Yeah. Did a little bit of calling, and they ran down, and I, shot one. And they, we did the thing. It was memorable. It was awesome. It was really cool. It definitely, I was like, cool. And we're looking forward to deer season. This one that I killed more recently, was it 2 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Better bull. Like I'm not good at scoring
maybe
them.
3 yeyears ago.
2-3 years ago. It's like a 280 bull.
Yeah.
I think decent bull, like nice 5x5, I think, and we speculated. What did we think? He's like a 5-year-old bull or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm more asking my guide, the same guide. So that's why it was cool. We went back. It was the same outfit, same family. So it's Rusty was and he's same guy. So we went, and it was cool. It was the second day of the hunt. It was my dad and I. We rode way up into this giant canyon. Beautiful. The country.
Yeah.
Blows whitetail out of the country, out of the water. It just really is beautiful. Just the aspens changing colors and stuff. So, and we saw all these elk up on this way far canyon, and so we tied the horses up. That's a cool aspect of it. It's like a lot of horse ride, and we just worked up the valley and got below them and kind of paralleled them like this and called at him a few times, and he ended up looping back and coming back for us. And it's real steep country. And so Rusty and my dad are maybe 40, 50 yards down behind me. He pushes me up to this tree here. I go up there, and then this sucker circles down, and he comes through the trees, and I start seeing, tines and big eye guards coming through, and boom, and
drawn it. I shoot him at like 25 yards and send it right through that front shoulder and crushed him. Yeah, it was epic. It was awesome.
But not like whitetail.
Dude, there's just something like...
Yeah. Well, I had this conversation with a couple of people, like, and usually that's like older people, but there's like, I don't know if you guys have ever heard this, but like for the people who have like, you know, those guys who have a lot of diverse game and they get a lot of places and hunt a lot of things. It's like one thing a lot of them are missing is like a big whitetail, and they all like hold whitetail at a pedestal. Like even like really profound like elk hunters and stuff and like or other game, they're like, they kind of look at whitetail as like a prize, like above a lot of that stuff. You ever hear that?
I do. I know for sure there are people who don't at all. Like mule deer hunters are like, could care less.
Yeah,
they're like, these stupid whitetails are freaking, just get out of this canyon.
Yeah, just kill them all.
Yeah, yeah.
But you're not wrong. I mean, there definitely is a regard for the whitetail.
Well, I mean, I think the biggest difference between, you know, those guys hunting elk and muleys is like, even the giants they're visible. Right, they're herd animals. They live in open spaces. Like they're visible animals. Whereas the whitetail, besides like our trail cameras, these things are a fucking mystery. Like dude. they live in solitude. Like you know, how many of these deer that are absolute freak mega whitetails ever get eyes laid on them? Besides maybe a camera. You know, whereas it's like I'm up in a bowl, glassing bowls. It's like there's a mega freak giant and like 3 other guys might see him too because he's just out in the open, you know?
Yeah.
So I think there's a more mystique around the whitetail because they're not as visible. You just don't see them and lay eyes on them.
I think I think you can go through phases too. I mean, dude, it's been interesting to see Lukowski as we've gotten to know him a little bit. I mean, you know, who has, you know, you talk about somebody who's got like a passion for hunting and growing these giant whitetails, you know, he's probably in the top 5 list of all, you know, you got Drury up there and a handful of others. And, you know, he is he's selling farm. Like
he's very much moved on to elk.
And he's like,
really?
I mean, not like he's leaving whitetails in the dust by any means. I'm sure he's still got a lot of that left in him, but like, he's fired up about the elk. You know what I mean? He's really...
But even the discussions we have with him, like, it's like, and he doesn't mean it in like a derogatory way, but he's like, even if I let that deer get to 8, like maybe he's 190. Like, you know, he's at that level of perfectionist.
So is he after the inches with elk?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's applying whitetail management tactics to them, which is not being done in the West by many people now.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Like food plots and water
he's trying
holes.
to like manage farms
definitely.
He's
out there, I think, today, right now, doing food plots for elk.
See, what intrigues me about elk hunting is it's very much how I like to whitetail hunt.
Just raw.
You get out there, you fucking go after and find the biggest one you can, and what you come home with is what you
and
held out for.
If you left trauma, you left trauma. Like, who cares?
Yeah,
Move
you know,
on.
And exactly. Like, and it's like the mystery of like, is there a 390-inch bull? Like, am I gonna get that, or like, am I gonna settle with this one, or, which is very intriguing to me. That like,
Well, dude, South Cox this morning, we were talking to, I don't know how long ago it was, but he was glassing a basin that they had hunted many times. And show Cody. He glassed the world record non-typical mule deer, 330 or something.
oh jeez,
Like absolute freak. And basically he's a track guy.
oh my
He
God.
was like, he's like, that deer is unkillable with my gear. And so he handed it off to his buddy, and his buddy ended up killing it.
Oh shit.
But
he's like, I got 3 days left to hunt. I got to go kill another deer.
Yeah, so he went and killed like a 160, and his buddy stayed for 7 or 8 more days and ended up killing that deer. But it's like, you know, nobody knew about that deer. It lived in a basin. He happened to be glassing that basin, and there that deer was.
See, that's like the jackpot, man. And it's like, man, I don't know. It's just, it's like, I guess what I'm looking. It's like an adventure. Like you
It's
really
what whitetail hunting used to be, right? Dude, like when we went in the woods years ago, like 10, 15 years ago, and you sat in a tree with a giant scrape ripped up in front of you, you had no idea what was coming in to crush it.
Oh, dude.
And so the West kind of still holds that in many cases, because the next hill you crest and the next basin that you glass could be an absolute freak giant.
That is exactly what intrigues me about it. That the element of fitness and the adventure of just like this, like being out there in the mountains and the like 100%. So it seems like there's a lot of things pointing to like an ultimate high. So, but like, dude, nothing. Everybody asks me, oh, what do you hunt besides whitetail? I'm like, dude, I've never had literally even a slight passion to hunt anything other than whitetail.
Yeah.
Like, I would rather just go to another place and hunt more whitetail. It's like what intrigues me is like the mountain like Idaho.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like
they go out with Troy and those guys.
like get out in that neck of the woods and see what the hell's going on, you know, or like some of those other states that
What about
have,
Canada?
I'd like to go hunt Canada, like actually hunt it, not just sit over fucking corn.
Yeah, corn and alfalfa. Yeah.
But I don't know, man. It would be probably pretty damn challenging.
Yeah. We've been talking about like a muley whitetail combo. So like spot and stock muleys in the day and then go sit alfalfa fields in the evening for whitetails. Like that
would be pretty sick. And even like like, I don't know. I've never done much ground hunting, but it does intrigue me. And I don't think I ever fit into the groove. I'm more of like I said, gather intel, find a spot of intersection, sit there for the ambush. Not like, I don't think I know how to be stealthy walking around and actually hunting like that. Like, and I'll admit it, I've never done it. I don't have any reps in it.
Right.
So like,
I bet it will come pretty natural because you're scouting.
I'm sure maybe, you know, as far as whitetails goes, because everybody's like, it was like, well, why don't you go hunt whitetail on the ground? I'm like, I mean, I've missed a whitetail on the ground. Like, I remember one time I was sitting in a tree stand and a buck bedded up short from me, and I was waiting him out. He wouldn't get up. It was actually Thanksgiving morning. And I'm like, damn, I was like, I got to make a move on this thing. I'm like, but that'll never work. Like, there's no fucking way I'll get close enough to him. And I'm just sitting there waiting, and I'm like, and he's looking the other way, and I got like a little wind shift, and it's like and it picked up, and it's my perfect direction. I'm like, well, I got to try. You know, and I got down, and I was like being super ultra quiet, and then I got like and it's all like gnarly thorns and shit and hedge apple stuff on the ground, and it's like this overgrown. So it's like hard to be quiet, but I'm like, this is never going to work. And I just had my bow in my hand, you know, I'm like crawling, and I'm looking up, and he's still there, and I'm crawling. Dude, before I knew it, I was like 18 yards away from him, and I'm just like looking, and I'm like, I was like, holy shit, I got here. I was like, I'm here, you know, and there was a doe like 5 yards from him, and he's looking the complete opposite way. I'm like, all right, now what do I do? I'm like, he's sitting there. I was like, I can't shoot him like this. So I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, okay, get on your knees. Like, okay, so I'm on my knees, and I'm like crouching, and I get in the bow in the position, and now I'm just like, all right, fuck. Like, okay, what do I do now? And then the doe just happens to like spook on something, or she stands up, and then he looks over at her, and I'm like, and I'm just watching it unfold. He looks over at her, and he's like, what you looking at? And she's like, well, fuck, nothing much. And he just like, you know, then does the old stand up, and he's standing right there at 18, and I'm like, holy shit,
stand up.
I was like, holy shit, yeah. He just freaking, and I'm just like,
front legs first.
Oh, dude, I'm just like, holy shit, like, and I just like slung it back and shot right over his back, and I'm just like, like I was like, what the hell? I was like, you know, I was defeated, but I've never like went in like creeping, freaking like, you know,
like a still hunt.
Yeah, I've never done that, but I hear it's a fucking blast.
I mean, dude, I think it's important to push yourself. I mean, that's obviously what you're doing. You're like, I want to take to the next bar, but it's also, I think, important to like just do the thing that you enjoy.
Yeah,
you know, and it's like
maybe I'll enjoy that like a lot. You never know.
What's that?
Spot and stalker. I don't know.
Oh yeah, well yeah, I'm not pushing away from that either. Yeah, I'm just saying, you know.
Yeah.
Don't get so caught up in pushing yourself that you don't do the thing that you enjoy, like hunt the spot that you like and do whatever.
100%, man. That's a
Western thing would be fun though. Yeah, I mean, exposure. You don't know until you try, type of a thing.
Oh yeah. So. And I don't know how that would be. Like, even when I remember I hunted open country in Kansas, and like a lot of those guys would just drive roads, just looking for him, and I was just like, man, I don't know. I'm not quite into this. Like, I don't know if it was different. Maybe if we like hiked back to, and like you said, you're glassing a base and waiting. A little different than just driving.
That's it, man.
Grid roads.
Get up in the high country, sit on some basins, move to the next one.
Yeah, and then freaking like tactically like try and slide in and intercept. You know, like I could get down with that.
It'd be wild, I bet. Yeah. With the weather, just the environment, the physical side of it, like all of that just. Yeah.
Have you killed the elk?
Mm-mm.
No.
The only elk hunt I've ever gone on actually was in Kentucky. I took my wife's uncle, drew a tag. And like I've never elk hunted, but I called in a bull twice.
Oh yeah, did he? He didn't get it though.
Couldn't draw his bow back. 30 yards. It was all there.
Like
laid
he
out.
Was shook, or just could like something happened where he couldn't. Oh, just
I think
like
just shook.
Paralyzed. Yeah.
Couldn't do it. I remember, dude, it was
Have you
like,
ever been there?
No.
it was the craziest
It's hard to wrap your mind
It was the
around.
craziest thing. Like, I remember, so like we ended up, we'd never even like scouted this place. Like we just roll in. I'm like walking down and like in a weird, all of a sudden I'm like, I smell elk. I've never elk hunted. I don't know. It smelled like horse.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And find this big bed. We walk further. We end up seeing a cow. So the next morning I'm like, all right. I was like, there's a cow there. Like, let's go.
Yeah.
So we get down on this bottom and I was like, let's just work up to where we saw that cow and we'll start there. Well, there was a guide and another hunter there, right? It was a draw area. And like, there's bulls screaming. And I'm like, I don't know if it's them.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if it's the bull, right? Like, I don't know if I should call back. Like, I don't want these. It was just really a weird situation. And like, at this point, we've never even seen a bull. So I don't even know if they're really there.
Yeah.
So that night we moved down into this bottom and there's a big water hole down there. And I'm like, man, I was like, it's hot. It's been super dry. Like if I'm a bull, I'm going to wallow in this thing. Right.
Yeah.
And so like, we're sitting there for like, we're under like this old autumn olive bush and stuff. We're sitting there for like, I don't know, an hour, maybe. All of a sudden I hear behind, it sounds like a fucking grizzly bear coming through, just like through the brush. Right. And he's like, what is it? I was like, it's got to be an elk, right? Like, I don't know, you know, and then you hear it in the water and stuff. And I'm like, man, I was like, it's got to be an elk. Like, I can't see it. I can't see anything. And then next thing you know, like, there's like this little logging road and all this like kudzu and shit. And he comes up. I was like, it's a bull. Like, he's right there. And like, he comes up, he feeds it, and he's coming across. And dude, it was like, you couldn't have planned it any better. I mean, I watched him for 30 minutes. I've ranged it 19 times. I'm like, it's 31 yards.
Yeah, 31. Pull it back.
Yeah. And so as soon as he comes in, I'm like, go ahead and draw. And I just, I'm like, I was like, just take your time, like, he doesn't know. And like, he just couldn't get it back, man. And eventually I called that same bull back in the next morning. I could see it, but he couldn't. Like, we were on two sides of the road, and like, he came in and he was like down at the bottom, and like, he couldn't see around the corner. And then the guides hunter sniped it with a crossbow at like 90 yards. So,
dang, that sucks.
End of game. But
dang, that sucks.
For a cool little elk experience, like, and it was funny because we had gone with all the talked to the locals. I was just trying to get tips and shit.
Yeah.
And the locals were like, yeah, there's like no more elk down here. And I'm like, oh, really? They're like, yeah, they're just not here. Well, it's because like it was like all just strip mine ground. Yeah. And all that autumn olive now is 10, 12 feet tall. So like, you just can't see them anymore. Yeah. It used to be you could just see them in the open field. Now they're in there. It's just you can't see them. Yeah. And but yeah, I mean, it was a cool experience. But yeah, I'm slowly getting the urge to do it.
Oh man.
Little by little here, especially when it's like we were just in Utah and they're like, yeah, you know, like this is all archery only around here and it's over the counter and you can start on August 14th. I'm like, you don't like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, that's pretty sick.
Yeah. That whole area around the ski resorts was archery only, which was really intriguing to me.
Were you guys hunting in Utah?
No, we were out shooting that Total Archery Challenge.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But that we were at a big ski resort there just outside of Salt Lake, and like I just started talking to the guys.
Solitude ski resort.
Yeah,
I was like, man, I said, you've got some OTC stuff around here, and they're like, yeah, this all is, and because it's all ski resorts, like all of this is archery only, and I'm like, oh, I was like, I assume it's like tough. He's like, well, it's tough country. He's like, but there's some good bulls up in there. I'm like, okay, like,
dude, isn't Utah like a mecca? Or is
some of the spots,
or is that Arizona?
Both.
It's Arizona.
Yeah, New Mexico. Is the Mecca.
Oh yeah, okay, New Mexico.
But Utah has some giants in certain like these OTC zones. Like either they have good bulls but not a lot of elk, or they've got decent elk but not like great bulls. Oh, like that's kind of now the limited draws, which I know you've been putting in for Utah, I think,
and Arizona.
Mm-hmm. You know, who knows how long those take.
That's tough to get a tag in Arizona.
Could be 14 years, right? Yeah, but like eventually if you could pull one of the key zones, like now you're in big bulls.
Yeah, you're in freaking.
Well, dude, I mean, they've killed. I looked. Well, actually, it was Ritz who drew that, which is funny.
Yeah.
I forget what he said. They killed. I don't know how many it was. A lot, like 30 plus 400-inch bulls in Pennsylvania so far. Mm-hmm. Like there's just some absolute freak nasties in there.
They kill some big ones. The way I think about elk
at this point is just because I killed two and it was fun and neither of those were mega giants, but I got the gist of like what it is. I'm like, I want to do it again, but I want it to be like a really desirable tag where I have a chance at a giant.
Yeah.
You know, and if that's 7 years from now that I draw that, then great.
What about would a more adventure one like trigger you or no?
Like what?
I don't know, like a Utah one, but it's just like more backcountry type stuff.
Well, I mean, dude, those two I did were extremely backcountry.
Yeah.
That was an adventure.
Yeah. And those were Colorado.
Colorado. They were both Colorado. Yeah, and I mean they were basically horseback riding trips with some elk hunting.
Yeah.
Like you got to get where they're at, you know, type of a deal. And I mean, dude, it was fun. I would absolutely do it again. If you're like, hey, do you want to go? I'm like, sure, let's go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to experience it with you for sure.
Yeah.
I think that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But if you are like, hey, do you want to go hunt, you know, I don't know, Arizona muleys, or do you want to go to Colorado on elk hunt? Like I would opt for the muleys.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed the muley hunting a lot. I thought the spot and stock stuff was fun. I thought way more fun than I anticipated, just because it's constant action.
Yeah.
Which was
so you can always like find more. They're not very.
Oh, that's it. Honestly, you just make the same stock on the same deer. Like they just run and then lay down.
Yeah.
I think it's honestly the hunting style has a lot to do with it. It's also the fact that they're just deer, and I'm fairly obsessed with deer. Like, you know, I can make the connection between a whitetail and a muley, but I don't enjoy turkey hunting that much. I just don't like.
Yeah,
I'm not a big like call and response as much. You know, I'm like I'll call it whitetails type of thing, but I'm not like
different style though.
Yeah.
Elk hunting is very similar. It's like
that's what they say.
You're almost like challenging them. You know, it's like you push into their zone and freaking get them fired up, get them raking, and you have to push in on them type of thing. It is exciting. I mean, don't get me wrong.
I think the muley thing is really good because it appeals to our aggressive hunting nature. Yeah, like you're just aggressive. Like you see them and it's one you want to stalk. Okay, how are we gonna do it? And you go and you bomb in on them, and if you mess it up, great, find another one.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like it would be.
I mean, we were making like, even that year, the second year when we didn't kill one, I mean, I would say we were making, I don't know, 4+ stalks a day, easily.
I think I like the stealth aspect of that, of the mule deer hunting, because you're still stalking. And I guess we were spot and stalking kind of like elk, but you're more just like interacting with the herd.
Yeah.
So it's like the only time you have to be still when you're elk hunting is when it's
very turkey
inside of 50 when he's coming in. It's like
you're running and gunning and calling and running and gunning and calling. Eventually you get a response, and like then it's like, okay, he's herded up with cows. Now I need to get him away from that. And you called in the satellite buck.
That's right. Yeah. And I think I prefer, like with muleys, I feel like you're always hunting in the sense that it's the worst. You're cautious with your movement the entire time. Yeah, creep a little bit, glass, the whole thing. We're still hunting essentially.
Yeah,
I prefer that. I think.
I get that. I can totally see that. Yeah, because I've heard it correlated to turkey, but yeah, you're on a different task. They're preoccupied. You're getting there. Challenge them, bring them off.
Nothing has hooked me. I didn't fall in love with that, like that call and response thing. Like it's the same way that turkey hunting just pisses me off more than it's like I feel gratified by it. Yeah. Elk hunting, I could see me falling into the same. I had a great guide to help me with those first two, so it was great. It was successful, and I killed on both trips, but I could see me fall into that trap where I'm like, forget this.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, dude, when they were screaming, dude, I was just like, holy shit, this is insane, you know? Like, I mean, a turkey, I don't know. I like turkey gobbling, too. I'd like
to have a freezer full of elk meat. That would be cool.
That would be sick. Yeah,
I'll tell you what, my last elk wasn't that good.
Really?
Pretty tough.
It's just the way you handle it.
I think it's overrated. I took it to a processor.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
All the elk I've ever ate was real good.
Well, dude, we got a long weekend ahead.
No, I think we're good. That was perfect. We're probably running out of film space anyways.
Yep.
So
I said we wrap it up. Cody and I are gonna hit a good old fashioned chest day in the morning.
Yep.
If we're up for it, I
guess. You
guess.
can put him in the cold plunge
If he's up for it.
Dude, I'm up for anything.
It's there.
Yep.
I'll force you to do it.
So are you doing it every morning?
Mm-hmm.
What time?
Depends on the morning.
You like do it first thing?
Yeah.
He's changed the routine. That is the routine now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I used to do it after the gym, like after the sauna. And then Dudley told me there was some research that said that was not good for muscle, and I took
it. Actually isn't. I read that too.
Took him at his word. So I started doing it in the morning.
Your body should be gradually cooling, not like really hot to cold. That's not good for you.
Oh yeah, I've heard that too. Like, because people go in the cold or they go in the sauna,
and then immediately,
and then in the plunge, and they think there's some like
yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, I don't think
the whole benefit of your sauna being able to help with the red blood cell would like deteriorate by going into the cold.
Yeah. So I just do the ice bath in the morning.
How long do you stay in there?
5 minutes.
That's long, isn't it? Or is that not long?
No, I think that's long.
It sounds long.
I think a lot of people are like 2 to 3
Yeah, 5. Damn, 5 is. I feel like that's a fucking beast.
I don't know. That's what I do.
Right,
that's what I've always done.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just always pushing the limits.
Yeah,
raising the bar.
No, it's just always been 5 minutes. Honestly, dude, it's a.
Do you feel like
hard
your
thing to
workouts are better after it, or have you noticed any difference in like the working out?
Oh, it's a cumulative effect. I think.
Okay.
I do think that my. Oh, what would you say? I don't know. I mean, it definitely like it
like recovery maybe, or
it puts you in a mindset in the morning, like in the like
more mindset oriented.
You're instantly uncomfortable. You know what I mean? It's like it's a really hard thing to do first thing in the morning. You've accomplished that right. So there's a mental, I think, benefit. You're like, okay, I did it. I got in the thing, and then you're refreshed. You know, it's like you just like got out of a cold shower. You know, so it's an extreme end of that. You're like, and now I'm freaking. It's going to take me 20 minutes to recover, but I'm freaking like I'm jacked about it. And here we go, and I can get my coffee in me, and now my brain's firing, and it fires you up. For sure.
I wondered if it like kept you like if you were more lethargic to get into a workout groove, like, or is it the opposite because your body's trying to warm itself up, and like once you get the blood flowing, it's no issue.
I'm not usually going from it like straight into a workout.
Oh, like so okay. There's a little leg time.
I'm just saying I don't know.
Okay,
but
yeah,
no,
man,
I mean, dude, no, my workouts are fire.
I've heard about the benefits of it, you know, and I could definitely see like running, getting in there to ice the legs and stuff. Just to take the inflammation out. I mean, have you ever done it? No. Dang.
No,
it sucks.
I do like heat training stuff, but not hard. Cold.
It's the hardest part is talking yourself into getting into it. Yeah. It's painful. The first.
Well, doesn't it feel like needles? Like
The first 30 to 45 seconds are pretty painful.
Yeah.
Especially if you're not used to doing it.
Oh, dude, it'll be
on like the tips on the tops of your feet and stuff. You'll be like you'll be in pain a little bit, and then if you can get through it and like get your breathing under control, you'll look over the clock and you'll be like, okay, a minute has passed, and you're like, okay, like I'm still in here, and then you just start to kind of like endure, and then you settle in by minute 2, 3. And then generally,
I feel like 5 minutes is long. I'm just gonna say that. Like,
seems long.
Dang, maybe it's not. Maybe
no. I mean, just I did a little bit of research.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
Like, what do you not want to go over?
5 minutes.
5:01. Yeah.
5 minutes is about as long as you want to go. You know, but I mean, people have done it for like way longer.
At 5:01, you become sterile. Just get out.
You do want to hold your balls for sure. That's I'm not freeballing in that in there at all. So.
They need some protection.
Yeah. Just you want a cup. This is the thing. You want a cup, and you want to get in like.
Oh, so you don't just like you're not like out relaxed.
Yeah, no.
Just like,
oh no, there's nothing relaxing about it. You got to protect the boys. Yeah.
I just remember standing in a river out west, like in the thing. It was so cold.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm like.
Well, the big thing is like anything you like ease into with your legs, there's so much blood flow there that usually locks you out pretty quick.
Yeah. In the what do you call it? That's in your feet, all your
capillaries
and stuff, or
capillaries.
Yeah, like ooh man.
Yeah, so all of that really starts to. That's where you get your pain and stuff from.
Yeah, so you gotta have like a little regimen
because they contract
that gets you in it. You know, so like there's no easing into it. So I start the timer on my phone, 5 minutes.
Okay.
And then once the timer started, I'm wasting time every second. I'm not in it. Okay. So I start the timer and then I turn around. I get in and I just sit down.
Yeah.
Sit down, grab your balls.
Hunker down.
And hunker down.
Okay.
Sounds fucking gnarly.
Sounds fun. Maybe you'll like it.
You check it out.
I can't believe you haven't tried it yet, like with how long he's been doing it.
No, I just let him keep doing it. Yeah. No, I haven't.
I like it. Yeah, it's a cool thing.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
If nothing else, even if there was no medical benefit, like
The fact that I'm forcing myself to do it.
Yeah, mental clarity and just.
I'm like, I did
it. Yeah, for sure.
I did it.
There is something to that, man. Just doing hard shit or doing something you don't want to do because you really don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Even, dude, turning the.
It's kind of the main reason I'm doing it is because I don't want to do it.
Exactly. Turning the dial to all the way cold in the shower, dude. That's a freaking mental game itself. You're just like, oh shit, it's gonna get cold. It's gonna get real cold. Like,
you do that? Do you do the cold showers?
I've done some cold showers before, but it's nowhere. A cold shower is nowhere near that.
It's funny, dude. I honestly like those are really enjoyable for me now.
Cold showers? Oh, I bet because they're probably.
It's just not. It's not nearly as bad as the ice bath, but it's just.
Do you still solely take cold showers?
Not solely. Normally, I start with them hot. I almost always end with it cold though.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm not a hot shower guy. Like the people that steam in the bathroom, I can't do that.
See, I like to get hot to get clean because I do think there's something to the heat that's for scrubbing.
Interesting.
But then
by the end,
but after that, I drop it all the way down and I just let it rock for a couple minutes.
Damn.
We just refinished our shower too, so now I got an overhead like waterfall thing.
Dang. That's pretty sick.
Pretty nice. I go all the way cold on that. It feels like you're actually standing under a waterfall.
Yeah, that's pretty sick.
It's nice.
That's
just play some music with it.
Yeah. It's got a little radio in there.
Create a little.
Oh yeah, I like the jam. Yeah.
Siri.
Yeah. There you go.
Siri, put on some jazz.
Yeah. I don't know what the right music choice would be to get you through one of those ice baths, but it's.
Dude, fucking Rob Zombie or something.
Yeah, something hardcore.
Like I mean,
it is interesting, like to consider where your mind goes during that time because you're suffering for 5 minutes and it's like you're not looking at your phone or anything, which is rare in and of itself. Is 5 minutes where you're not looking at your phone.
Interesting, because I would think you'd be like watching the clock. Are you like? What are you thinking about that?
Yeah, well, that's interesting. I don't know. It's different every time. I mean, I'd be lying if I said half the time I wasn't thinking about like I would think about bucks that I'm getting on camera or freaking spots I'm doing. I'm not usually thinking about things that would stress me out, like things that I have to do or this or that. I'm just you're focused on things that will like you go to your happy place,
like, get you through
things to get you through it.
The old pain cave.
Yeah. Damn.
Pain cave. There you go. Yeah.
That's gnarly, man.
It's just cold water, man. It's nothing to be scared of.
Dude, I know. 100%.
Just cold water.
Just cold water.
It's just cold water. It's only like 40 degrees.
Just don't stay in over 5 minutes. It's
that's it.
Yeah.
Cup your balls.
Just make sure you hold your balls.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, you want to hold the balls for sure.
Hold those.
You know what I did do one time? You ever do the cryo?
Oh, cryo freeze?
No, I never have.
Dude, I've done that, and that's like negative 300 degrees or something.
Okay.
It gets gnarly. Yeah,
and is that just air? Like you just go into a chamber and it's just cold air?
You go into a chamber and like your head is out of it. And I remember like when I went in it, the guy was like, okay, like you don't dip your head under there. And I'm like, what? Like, they're like, oh yeah. Like people just like, doop, like they're gone. Like, cause it's so cold, like something about their brain or whatever. But I'm like, oh shit. So there's like so they funnel up a pad that comes up to your neck. So it seals in the top. Yeah. And then you're in this big tube. It's like what they froze Austin Powers in.
Right.
And, and then it
just, Walt Disney.
Yeah. And then they just start, It says up top the temperature, and then it just goes down, but it blasts you with this ultra cold air, and like you're just, frozen inside of like 30 seconds.
Wow.
But you're only in there for I don't know how but you're talking like a minute is like a long ass time.
Yeah.
Because it goes down, and then, but I remember like, you got to cover up your business, like you gotta wear something over that, and like obviously no metal, like if you had a belly button ring in or something, like it would get so cold that like it could like burn the skin or whatever.
Same.
So I had to take my
purpose.
out.
Like what's the point of that?
Yeah.
I think it's like the healing benefits. It's like I would imagine it'd be the same as like a cold plunge.
Thing. Yeah, I think so.
I would imagine.
Something for inflammation.
Sure. Do you ever go under with the head?
Yeah. I have been recently, yeah.
Oh.
Just the last, but right before I get out, I just dunk under and I get up and out.
Yeah.
It sucks.
I feel like it'd be easier for me to put my head in than my feet.
Probably.
Yeah.
I think so too.
You can dive in if you want.
Yeah.
I'll pull you out by your feet.
Just his feet.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Cup your balls. Shit. Well,
how do I plug my nose and hold my balls up at the same time?
Yeah, that's it. Not enough hands. Yeah. Well,
what'd you guys do last night? Well,
yeah.
Team effort.
Yeah. Still, you gotta make it to the farm tomorrow. That's all.
Yeah.
We'll make it.
Okay. Well, we appreciate everyone listening to episode 264 of the HUNTR Podcast with Cody DeQuisto. And hopefully we see a bunch of guys this weekend at the Roadshow, and we'll see everybody next week.
Later.
Thanks, guys.
Take me